This Yom, close the doors of your mind from all carnal will, all carnal thought, all emotions, all desires, all fears, all laziness, all doubt, all stubbornness in your shoulders and your neck, stubbornness in your lower back, stubbornness in your shoulders, your arm, your hands, your feet, from the top of your smallest hair to the bottom of your feet, that controls all the organs in your body. For this Yom is another day. The sun has now risen, and now we realize that we've given another day as a gift. A gift so we can breathe the air, the ruach and the neshama within, that we may receive the knowledge of Binar Kukma Da'ath, of the one who sits in the highest Shamayim above the Shaba'i Shama'ims and the 13th Shamaim, sitting on his throne, ruling all beings, all gods, all Allahims, who rules all spirits, all evil spirits, all Ra Ruachs, the master of spirits, the master Yahuwah Elohim, the master Yahushua Mashiach, who rules all things, both masculine and feminine, both male and female, the one who governs all things from the highest Shamayim to the Rakia, to the surface of the earth, to the center of the earth. The man, the Ish, Yahushua Mashiach. For all power has been given unto him in the highest Shamayim, on earth and under the earth, and everything's under his command, that all beings and everyone may come into subjection unto the righteousness and purity and love of the one who sits in the highest Shamayim, the one who governs in a Shah, the master Yahushua Mashiach. And even as one has a natural Ish in the world and in subjection to him, so is this Isha in subjection to the master Yahushua Mashiach. For to be led by Yahushua Mashiach, to be led is to be led by a pure friend, someone who loves and has compassion and humility and speaks with gentleness, meekness, temperance, forgiving sins, transgressions, and iniquity, just as his Father does. But he nowise clears the guilty. For when you are a Qad, you nowise clear the guilty. So this Yom, as we move forward in purity of mind, purity of thought, in righteousness, in kindness, ahab, joy, simcha, peace, shalom, patience, meekness, self-control, and amunah. Amunah in the one who came down from the highest Shammai, even as a waterfall falls to the earth to water the earth. So Yahushua Mashiach descended and also ascended to sit back at the right hand of his Father, riding on the second chariot, just as his kin, riding in gold, sleeping in gold, drinking out of gold, and laying in gold. For he came out as pure gold, that we may inherit and that we may be joined to him as his bride, and to drink and to ride and to lay in gold, that his love and his compassion may be given to us and be extended to someone else. So this is the Nazarene Acts of the Shalakim, suggestions of the old serpent. So we see the serpent, we see Satan as a person whose desire is to break up your marriage, is to break up your life and to destroy it, to destroy the order from the highest Shamayim with Yahushua Mashiach and with the Father Yahuwah. For Yahushua said, in my Father's house are many mansions. He said, if I wouldn't so, I wouldn't have told you. Right? He's going to prepare a place that where he is, there you may be also. So we look at the serpent as the enemy, as Satan, right? So this is chapter 17. It says, above all, therefore, you ought to understand the deception of the old serpent. So look at the deception, look at the deceiving of the whole world today. Look at how the whole world is deceived by the serpent. Everyone, he's saying that the light, the ore is now rising, and you can see Satan rising as well. And his cunning suggestions, who deceives you as it were by prudence. That's all he's coming to do. To deceive your mind, to deceive your thoughts, to deceive your 12 cranial nerves, deceive your pituitary gland, to deceive your pineal gland, to deceive your spine, to deceive your vertebrae, to deceive your skin cells, your blood cells, your mind, your thoughts, your consciousness, your own virtual reality in your mind. That's all he's coming to do. And he's going to do it with prudence too. And as by a sort of reason creeps through the senses and deceiving you a great gain. So he creeps through your senses, your 2 eyes, your nose, your mouth, your 2 ears, your skin, your feelings, your touch, your emotions. That's what he's coming to do. He's coming to deceive you in those areas of your life that are weak, that he sees you as prey. Especially if you can't even, people saying, why does Yahushua tell one to go? He said, one compel you to go 1 mile, go 2. Because you got to be mentally strong to actually be able to endure when you're dealing with this being. And you have to understand his devices. It says, therefore he enunciates in your minds opinions of Elohim, of whatsoever kind. So he'll create anything in your mind. He'll create anything in your mind. Go all the way to Bereshith. He said every herb yielding seed is supposed to be for food and for the animals. He told you that. He said, Adam said, this my bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, you shall be called Nishar. And a czar, a helper. But now the helper don't want to be a helper. So who you think put that in the person's mind? Now the helper don't want to say that they come out from a man. Who you think put that in their mind? Now the helpers, the Azar wants to destroy the son that marries her. Who do you think put that in their mind? Who do you think put that in mind for people to slander, have gossip, hatred, envy, strife, complaining, criticism, pride, adultery, fornication, malice, unloving, uncaring, careless about people, careless about their bodies, careless about their presentation of how they look? Who you think put that in their mind? You said, Yahuwah has control over my thoughts. He said you have power to cast down those thoughts. So who put that in your mind? Who you allowed to fill your mind with that? You allow Satan to fill your mind. You can't blame nobody else. You can't blame your husband. You can't blame your wife. You can't blame your children. You can't blame the wise men. You can't blame Nabi. You can't blame no teacher. You can't blame your parents. You can't blame nobody. It's because you're not strong enough to resist Satan. That's the whole point. And it shows in every aspect of your life, right? Just look at your life. How do you operate in the morning, evening, and noon? How do you operate in your thoughts? Do you faint really fast? Right, and it says, Elohim, whatsoever kinds, only that your sin is his comfort. That's the only reason, because he likes you to sin. He likes you to do things wrong. He likes you to have a little bit of rebellion, so he can use that to control your mind, control your life, control your body, control your pituitary pineal. He can read your mind in 3 minutes and unravel your whole life from the beginning of your life to the end. That's how fast he can unravel your life. How are you able to resist somebody like this without any type of weapon? But you skip down the road. It says, for he for his immorality was condemned from the beginning to eat dust. That's what he did. He said, man, you made my children eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and make you eat dust. Make you eat dirt. That's how Yahuwah is with his children. I'll make you eat dirt. You make them sin, I'll make you eat dirt. So who are you? For that he caused to be again resolved into dust, him who had been taken from the dust. So he made Adam go to dust. Dust thou shalt return. From the man he used a rib, and he made a woman. And that weaker vessel, that one little rib that's supposed to guard his heart, he used that to destroy his heart, his connection with Yahuwah Elohim. He used that. That's what Satan did. He used a weaker person who has, a weak mind, and he used that to destroy him. And Adam, whom he loved so much, he loved his child so much, he ate it, and guess what happened? He died. Because a man's supposed to love his wife even as he loves himself. But guess what? That ended up being his death. But it says, even till the time when your beings will be restored, being brought through the fire, as we will instruct you more fully at another time. I mean, we've talked about it multiple times of being taken through the furnace of affliction. But there's a lot more to that too. It says, from here therefore proceeds all error and doubt. So you have error and doubts in your life, error and doubts in your mindset, error and doubts in your companionships, errors and doubts in your belief in Yahushua Mashiach, errors and doubts in your relationship with your husband, your wife, errors and doubts when it comes to people who believe, or errors and doubts. All these things come from Satan. Don't come from nobody else. It come from him. He put it in your thoughts. I hate him. I don't want nothing to do with him. I don't even want to talk to him. Why? Because my pastor told me to. My mother told me to. He's following another. He's evil. I'm the only one that's evil. I'm the only one that's righteous. I mean, that way, he puts thoughts in your head. From him, therefore, proceeds all error and doubts, by which you are driven from Amunah and belief in one Elohim Yahuwah. So you're driven from a Akkad. You're driven from oneness. You're driven from celebrating together. You're driven from being a Akkad. You're driven from that. Why? Because he takes you from one belief. He takes you from your Amunah, your belief in that one Elohim, being a Akkad with your father and mother, into Yahushua Mashiach and the highest Shamayim, your connection. That's what he does. So who are you listening to on a day-to-day basis? Who? Who created it? Who destroyed your life? You did. By listening to him and obeying him instead of obeying Yahuwah Elohim, who's great in compassion, forgiving sins, transgressions, and iniquities, and not clearing the guilty. Instead of listening to his voice, that still small voice, you listen to something else, right? This is Qahalath, Ecclesiastes 3:1. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under Shamayim. So there's a time for every matter that we hear. Just like we are approaching the first day of the 7th month. There's a matter under Shamayim, right? Everything. A time to be born. There's a time to be born. There's a time for Aydahchay, Damu Salim, Adam. There's a time to make Adam. There's a time to die. There was a time for Adam to die when he ate from that tree. When his wife Isha, his lower, weaker vessel, he's over, killed him. And amazingly, when Yahushua Mashiach was on the stake, on totality, on the cross, he was high and lifted up above his Isha. And because he was taller than her. I don't know why would you marry somebody who's not taller than you? He was taller than him, and she had to lift her hand up to give him something to eat. And he cried, and he died. He said a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. So you look at farming. Just like Issachar said, you're going to forsake farming. You don't even know the time. The times and the seasons. As the sun moves on this 364-day cycle, we're moving into another transition time. When the sun goes down, it's a transition time. What are we talking about? This is a transition time. We're looking at this is a transition time to what? To going through to the fourth portal. To do what? For harvest time. Time to plant, time to pluck up what is planted. We planted that a long time ago. A time to kill and a time to heal. Right? We're approaching autumn. Right? A time where you're supposed to plow, you're supposed to go in the field, you're supposed to gather in your crops, you're supposed to till up the ground. Clod breakers, right? You gotta break it up. It says a time to break down and a time to build up. It's time to break it down. Time to break that stuff down. A time to weep and a time to laugh. There's a time to weep and a time to have joy, laugh. Everything ain't time to be laughing all the time. When an innocent person gets killed, it ain't no time to be no laughing. It's time to weep. When somebody has jealousy, envy, strife in their heart, it's a time to weep. When a person has evil intentions and fornication or laziness, that's a time to weep. There ain't no time to be laughing. When a person has hatred and jealousy in their heart, that's the time to be weeping. Because the person has evil in their heart. And you shouldn't even have that notion to even be laughing in that type of moment. The person's hurting, the person's in pain. You're supposed to be weeping. See, the world reverses it. They laugh at stuff like that now. A person falls down and hurt and starts crying. Look at that person. This culture, this world, it's really like you're supposed to be weeping. When a child don't obey their parents, you're supposed to be weeping. When a man and woman, child don't honor their mother and their father, you're supposed to be weeping. When somebody's murdering somebody, you're supposed to be weeping. You can go on forever with that. A time to mourn and a time to dance. There's a time to mourn and there's a time to dance. See, there's a time for that. Not all the time. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. There's a time to cast away stones and a time to gather them all together as one, as a cod. Even as Yahushua when he gathered out the stones when they crossed the Jordan. He said a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. There's a time to embrace a companion in a relationship, and there's a time to not embrace your companion in relationship. Just like when one goes to a muad, a feast, or any type of occasion, there's a time to embrace and there's a time not to embrace. There's a time to seek and a time to lose. There's a time to seek gain, there's a time to seek, and there's a time to lose it. To cut your losses. There's a time to keep and there's a time to cast away. So there's a time to keep things, and there's a time to cast away the old. There's a time for that. There's a time to cast away from your mind your carnal will, your carnal desires, your emotions, your desires and fears, your laziness and your doubt. It's a time to tear and a time to sow. There's a time to tear up and there's a time to sow. There's a time to sow seed. For those who are on the southern hemispheres of the world, it's time for you. It's springtime. It's time to sow. But for those in the northern part, it's a time to harvest. Because seasons are not the same in every single place. There's a time to keep silence and a time to speak. There's a time to keep silence. There's a time to speak. That word for speak is debar. There's a time to speak. There's a time to speak debar. There's a time not to speak debar, and there's a time to speak debar. A time to love and a time to hate. There's a time to love. You're supposed to love when people do good. And that's the time for that. And you're supposed to hate when people do evil. There's a time for war. There's a time for war. There's a time for war in your life. There's times for wars in your mind. There's a time for war in your thought process. There's times for wars in your own house. But there's also a time for peace. Because without war, there won't be no peace. Because Satan is the artificer of all error and doubt. So the word for appointed time or season in that verse is zaman. Zaman, right? It means appointed time, a time, a set time, an appointed time. There's everything. There's a set time. There's a zaman. Everything has a season. It has a season for all of it. An appointed time for everything. A time to win, a time to lose. Right? There's a time for everything. Right? Zen. So you spell with a Zen, meme, and a noon. Zaman. Zen is 7. You're adding it up. Meme is 40. Noon is 50. Equals to 97, which equals to 6, which equals to 7. Where do you see that? The seventh day, how you say? Shabai Yum Chmy'shy Chdash. 7th month. First day of the 7th month. Rishon Yum Chmy'shy Chdash. Right? First day of the 7th month. It was an appointed time. When you look at the word Zaman, you got Zen. Zen means what? There's a appointed time to sword, knife, word, law, rest, perfection. Right? That's what Zen means. It's time to use the sword and use the word to get rest. And it also means meme. So you got meme. It means water. It's the time to wash and clean. And water to fall down. There's a time for that. And this is the time. You got noon, which is life. And guess what that water is going to do? That water is going to wash things off. It's going to clean things, and it's going to bring life. Right? Just like when somebody goes into alkaline water in the rivers or in the bio pools and takes a shower or cleans themselves. It brings life. Just like meme. What does it do? Water brings life. It brings cleanness. It brings, how you say? He's supposed to give you Sadiq Ifa. Sadiq Mazon. Right? Just measures. Just Ifa. Just Bath. Sadiq Bath. Sadiq Ifa. Sadiq Mazon. Balances. That's what it does. That's what it does. Right? Right? The word for time to be silent is kasha, as we spoke about before. It's a time to be silent. It's a time not to speak. To be still. To quiet. To be silent. There's a time to be quiet. Like they say, hush. Right? To be quiet. To be silent. To hush. Keep quiet. Hold your peace. You know how they say hold your peace? Sometimes in order to keep your peace within, to keep your peace inside of you, your shalom, you got to shut up. You got to be quiet. Because it ain't every single word don't need to be said. In order to keep your shalom on the inside, for Satan can't get in, because you open that gate up, your mouth, you open that gate up, or you open up your thoughts, you open up your mouth, you get in your mind, now you start doing raw. That's why you open that mouth. That's when you open your mouth, you eat. So as soon as you open your mouth, Satan go in. Just like wind, just like a smoke. And he teach you all types of evil and raw. There's a time to keep silence. You can't open your mouth. When you open your mouth, you better make sure it's a sword coming out. So he don't come in like a smoke. It says keep silent, to be silent, to be inactive, to be still. Right? There's a time to kasha. Right? Kasha. Right? There's a time for that. So that word for speak, it says there's a time to, how you say time to speak is the bar. There's a time to what? Converse, to command, to promise, to warn people, to speak with one another. There's a time to debar, to speak with one another. Notice how you have debar, to speak to one another. He said, every man speak truth to his neighbor. Debar. There's a time to speak to one another. When you speak to one another, whether man, woman, child, parent, husband, wife, mother, father, companions, brother, sister, brother. When you speak to one another, there's a time to speak to one another. And that word is to speak to one is debar. There's a time to speak. He said, speak these words. When you sit in your house, debar. When you walk by the way, debar. When you lie down, debar. And when you rise up, there's a time to speak. Debar. Speak the truth. This is Sirach 25-7. There is one that keepeth silence, right? Because you know why? And it's found wise. Why? When you keep silence, there's a time to be silent. Kasa, right? It's time to hush, to be quiet. Kasa, why? And you be found wise. And another, by much babbling becomes hateful. When you start babbling out of your mouth and you ain't speaking to bar, you know why you become hateful? Because Satan entered inside of you like a smoke, and he entered to your mouth. Because you babbling off things that ain't the bar, ain't the sword of the Ruach, and the Ruach get inside of you, another spirit. Because you're running and you're talking, and another spirit enters inside of you, and you don't even know it. Verse 6 says, some man hold his tongue because he have not to answer. Some man holds his tongue because he ain't got nothing to say. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing because you ain't got nothing to say. There's no, when you force things, you're going to end up forcing it, and you ain't going to say nothing that's going to be the sword of the Ruach, and that you're going to have the Satan on the inside of you teaching you all types of sin and all types of evil and wrong. He don't care about you. She don't care about you. They don't love you. I love you. Look at them. They're all a bunch of evil, right? He creates all types of stuff. Me and you need to be together. Rebel, right? That's how he operates. Some man holds his tongue because he have not to answer, and some keep the silence, knowing his time. Knowing your time. It's an appointed time. Kasa, the bar. It's a time, right? It's a time for everything. A season. Zaman. There's a time for it right now. Right? There's a time. This is 2 Enoch 11:1. And those men took me and carried me to the fourth Shamayim. So you got Shabba'i Shamayim, 7 heavens, 7 Shamayim. The fourth Shamayim. The fourth Shamayim. And they showed me all the movements and sequences and all the rays of the solar and lunar light. So he took him to the fourth Shamayim. Not the first Shamayim. He said in the book of Kazum, he said the first Shamayim is passed away. But he took him to the fourth. People say, yeah, the Shamayims have passed away. Yeah. No, the first Shamayim passed away. You still got the 5th, 6th, 7th. You got the 4th. If you count the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th Shamayim. We're talking about other worlds, other realms, right? If one has understanding, though. It says solar and lunar light, and I measured their movements, and I compared their light, and I saw that the sun has a light 7 times greater than the moon. It's 7 times greater. So the sun has a light that's 7 times greater than the yark. 7 times. So why would the moon, the woman, think that she brighter than the sun? The Ish. There was no way. Even the natural elements that's been here before one was even created on the earth. Before, it's older than you. The Shamash is older than you. The Yark is even older than you. So how do you think they're looking at you when they come out of their orbits of 364 and 354, and then they look at a woman, and then the woman's thinking that she brighter than the sun? How do you think the sun feeling and looking when he's seeing the Ish, think that he 7 times less than the sun, than the moon. You even lower than what you were. It should not be. Right, this is Sirach 23:19. Such a man only fear the eyes of men. You only fear the eyes of people, what people think, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahuwah are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So he 10,000 times brighter than the sun. He 10,000 times brighter than even the first Shamayim. He's 10,000 times brighter than that. Beholding all the ways of men, considering the most secret parts of your heart. That's why he uses the bar. It's a time to speak to the bar, the Zaman. It's time for him to cut inside of your heart. Why? Because he has to see him within inside of you. That's the only way. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahuwah are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and women and children, considering the most secret parts. So any secret that you got, he know about it. Sorry. He knows about it. It's Azarine Nax to the Shalakim. So we must above all things hasten to the knowledge of the truth, that as a light that kindleth thereat, we may be able to dispel the darkness of errors, the darkness of errors. For ignorance, as we have said, is a great evil. It is raw to not know something. You're ignorant. And to be ignorant is not knowing when to speak and when not to. It says, but because it has no substance, it is easily dispelled by those who are earnest. Those who are quick and powerful, sharpening any two-edged sword. Sword, knife, wrestler, or perfection. The bar is easily dispelled by those who are earnest. For ignorance is nothing else than not knowing what is good. If you don't know what's good, you're not going to do what good works. You're not going to do good works. You're going to do raw. You're going to do evil stuff. Evil things. It says, for us, it says, once know, this ignorance perishes. It perishes in your thought process. It perishes in your consciousness. It perishes in your 12 cranial nerves. It perishes in your pituitary, pineal, your frontal lobe, in your hands, your feet. It perishes in your whole body, in your inner man, in your liver and your kidneys and your thoughts. It perishes. Therefore, unless Satan comes in and fill your mind with error and doubt. Therefore, the knowledge of the truth ought to be eagerly sought after. It has to be eagerly. You have to want it. You have to want it. It's just like a person exercising or a person reading and studying. You have to want it. You say, I don't want to exercise. I don't want it. Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. Then when people start doing it and they start complaining, they start running, mumbling and grumbling. They start talking against the person, trying to get them to go and trying to get them to actually do what's actually something that they ought to do. Now they're talking to the person. Now they're mumbling and grumbling. Now all these attributes because it's too hard, it's too long. And that's what happens. It says, and no one can confer it except the Nabi Amat, the one who speaks the truth. That's why he says, speak the truth to your neighbor. Wouldn't Yahuwah want that all his people be Nabiyans, right? Speak the truth. The bar, it's a time to keep silent and a time to speak. When he want them. And we're not talking about going around, how you say, telling other people, trying to condemn other people and all these stuff. No. When a body has blood vessels that flow through the body, when you have hands, feet, arms, legs, neck, mouth, all these attributes, if everybody inside this body is a Nabi and you're speaking truth to each other, then everything's flowing in perfect harmony. And there won't be no Ra. There won't be no evil within. It's the same thing with every single attribute of your natural man. Be not be drunk with excess of wine, be filled with the Ruach. If the body is filled with excess of wine, you get drunk, and then Satan come in you like a smoke and teach you all types of sin. For this is the gate of life. It's the gate. The truth is, it's the gate. It's the doorway. It's the entranceway. Yahushua said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the entranceway, the door. No man can come to the Ab except through me. You got to go through the door because he ain't going to stop. He ain't going to let you in. You're not coming to my father and mother with that, with that, with that, with that, you're not coming to my father and mother's presence. Not with that. Not with that. Not with that. Not with that hatred. Not with that envy. Not with that jealousy and that envy. Because somebody prospering more than you. Not with that jealousy and envy. Not with that hatred. Not with that malice. Not with that fornication, adultery. Not with that lying. Not with that secret life you have. He said, you're not coming in my father and mother's presence. That's how people need to be in this natural life. You got a wise mother, wise father, and you a son and a daughter. You guard your mother and your father. Why? People come in with hatred, jealousy, envy, strife, complaining, criticism, pride. You protect. You be like, nah, you ain't coming up in here with that. You're not going nowhere near my mother and my father. You're not coming up in this house. You're not coming in my life, right? That's all the point. You have to look at that. Because a lot of people will defend things in his life. It's the same thing with a woman who's supposed to guard her husband like a rib cage. They won't even guard you. They'll let people right in your life. They'll let people just speak about you. They'll let people talk about you and they won't even say a thing. That's what they'll do. Because they ain't doing nothing. How you say it? These are lazy people. People that don't care about you and that don't love you. Because the people that care about you and love you, they won't let let people just come into your presence with any type of foolishness. And that's the problem today. The same thing with a man over his household. When a person comes into your presence in your home, into your wife or your children or anybody, or your wives' lives, and guess what? They come and bring raw and evil, arrogance, pride, tapuka mouth, lying, profanity, saying all things and coming to your children's presence, in your wife's presence, teaching sin, teaching to steal, kill, and destroy. Why would you even have them in their presence? Man, he said, this is the gateway. I stand at the door. I stand at the gateway. And you're not coming in here. Leave your demons outside. Right? Because if your demons in here, they're going to get on the ground. And you better, right? This is the gate of life. To those who enter in the road of good works, going to the city of salvation. So you're going to the city of salvation. He's saying, I'm at the gate of the city. It's like a royal palace. And you think you're going to come into this gate, this royal city, a city of salvation, with this gold, pure tree, formed with pure water, with 12 stones, 12 foundations, 12 pearls, with the how you say, the 12 tribes that had the gates. Each gate has what? The tribes of Yasharal. And you bring in jealousy, envy, strife, complaining, criticism, murmuring, grumbling, complaining, hatred, envy, strife, anger, wrath, pride, arrogance, gossip. You gonna bring that in? You gonna bring that into the city of salvation? Salvation is to get away from those things. Right, so this is Yeshayahu 55, 10 through 11. For as the rain and snow come down from Sharon, because there's a appointed time for these things to happen, for water to fall. There's a time to rain, for it's not. For rain and snow, rain happens in what? This time, the harvest time. Then also in the seed sowing time, the springtime, early summer and early winter. He said the rain coming. The rain. And it says does not return, but water the earth. What do you think it's doing right now? You see it go outside, you see the rain falling down, you see the latter rain falling, you've seen it started to fall. What is it doing? It's watering the earth. Giving seed to the sower and bread to the eater. That's all it's doing. You get your harvest time, you can break up your seeds, your spinach seeds, your watermelon seeds, all your summer fruit seeds that you collected, and you store them up for next season. And giving you bread to the eater, giving you wheat and barley so you can make unleavened bread. Getting your green herbs in, storing up for the wintertime. Getting ready for the wintertime. Because there ain't going to be no more Seasons. You got to have the nutrients. You should have already been eating the nutrients through the summertime. And guess what? Now, when the wintertime comes, you got all the nutrients and you ain't getting sick. You ain't no sicknesses coming on you. None of these things happening to you because you have your body filled with the nutrients. But if you didn't, you're not a doer of the word. Just to hear, you're lazy. Then you'll find yourself in a certain state of mind. A very, very bad situation, especially when you're dealing with Satan. It says, so shall the bar be that goes out of my mouth. So that the bar is the very water that you need. It's the time to keep silence, the time to debar. Zaman. It's a season for it. It shall not return to me empty. It's not going to return back empty, but it shall accomplish which I purpose it. It's going to accomplish what I sent it to do. And shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it. It's going to succeed. It's going to accomplish. Right? Cain, right? Verse 11, the bar, it's going to accomplish it. Shalak, but it's going to accomplish it, right? It's going to accomplish it. Ashar, Shalak, it's going to accomplish it. It's going to move. It's going to be fruitful multiply. When you speak the bar to your neighbor, when you speak the bar to each other in a loving, kind, and gentle manner, guess what happens? It's like sprinkling water. You ever stand in the midst of water? It's a constant cleaning. Like, it ain't too wet. It's just real constant. It's subtle. It's like one lighting sage all the time. It's like one lighting frankincense and myrrh throughout the day, all around you. A scent all around you. It's like a person putting lavender on their body the whole day, and that smell just rising with you the whole day. Bakar Arab, morning and evening, right? Right, so you look at Cain. So it says, so shall be my word to go out of my mouth. It means it'll be honest and true. It'll be right and just. Cain, it'll be right and just. And amazingly, in that season of Zaman, which is the 7, the time to cut, time to water, and it brings life. It'll be right and therefore. You look at Cain, you got Kaf and Noon equals to 7-2. 7-7. What are we entering in? The 7th month? It's a season. The 7th month? The first day of the 7th month when the sun go down? That's what we're entering into. It's going to be right, too. Matter of fact, putting out the water at the gate, this extra day in the 364-day cycle, I'm at, how you say, at the gate. You're not coming in with that. You have to leave that stuff on the other side. Because you're going into the first day of the 7th month. Leave it there. Right? It's gonna accomplish. It's a shalak. It's gonna shalak. It's gonna, from which I sent it. It's gonna shalak. He said, I'm sending it to send shalak. To what? To stretch out. He's stretching it out. He's stretching out something to you. Maybe handing you a rag, a towel. Go in the river and wash yourself. To cast out, right? No, you ain't coming. You ain't coming up in here. You say to be sent off, to be put away, divorced, like hey, putting you away. No, you're not coming in with that. You're not coming with that. It's just like a person sitting at the gate, or like at a theme park, or a movie theater, or a school where they have a metal detector, where they have a security guard. You got a ticket? Oh, you can't bring that. That's too much stuff. You got all that stuff in your purse. Go put that in your car. Don't bring that in here. That's the same thing you got to be in your own life. That's the same thing when you come to your mother and your father's presence. That's the same thing you come to your husband and wife presence. That's the same thing when it comes to your children's presence. You got to be the same way. You got to stand at the door. You know, you're not bringing that in here. To grow long, to put away. Does not wisdom drop down like water? So shall be my word to drop down like water. It's like water. It's for you. It's for you. It's for your life. These are all good attributes that you can have for your own life. People want to know why they faint in their mind, why they allow a certain thing, why they go to the store and they just eat every single thing, new product that come out from the lab, a processed meat and all that, and they just open their mouth and they just put it in, and they just like an experiment on themselves, not even knowing what they're doing to their own body. Well, he says to send out, to cast away, earnestly forsake, to grow, to put away, push it away. Shelach. Why? He said it's going to accomplish everything I'm sent to do. It does. The bar, when it's sent, it does all these attributes. It shoots forth branches. It causes the branches to come up because that's the water. Guess what it also does? Set free. Hasa. It allows one to be silent and in shalom, in peace, right? To set free. To be direct. When you look at Shalak, you got Shin, Shan, Lamet, Ka. Shan equals to 300, Lamet equals to 30, and the Ka equals to 8, which equals to 338, which is a 14, which equals to 5. The fifth letter of the alphabet is behold, light, revealed. Come to illuminate your thought process. Illuminate your consciousness, Shelach. When the bar is sent, it is to illuminate your consciousness. And you look at the 14th, when Yahushua Mashiach came in the 14th generation, from Abraham to the children of Abraham came out was 14 years from all the way to when Yahushua Mashiach came, all the way through the lineage of David. 14 generations. Behold, light, reveal, illumination. And it's gonna set you free. Right? So the word for succeed is selak. It's to rush. He said it's gonna succeed in which I sent it, to prosper. Prosperity. To be profitable. To cause the proper, to show prosperity, to push forward. Push forward. Push. People can't even push forward in a workout. Push forward in running a mile. They can't even push forward in exercise. They can't push forward with situations. They can't even push forward in disagreement. You got to push forward. You got to speak the bar and push forward. Go over to be good. That's what it is. To say like, to be good. You ain't never going to prosper. If you're not pushing forward, to break out. People talk about breakout. But you ever seen people say, man, that thing broke out. Prosper. To rush, to break forward. That's what it is. To succeed, that's what you got to do. That's what succeeding is. Succeeding has nothing to do with you just sitting around being lazy all day. Succeeding is pushing forward. Moving yourself in a direction of improvement. Practice makes improvement. Not perfect. It makes improvement. But if you ain't practicing nothing, he said, I'm practicing. If you're not practicing being a servant, you're not going to be really good at it. If you're not practicing being a humble, meek, and lowly, you're not going to be very good at it. If you're not practicing being obedient, you're not going to be very good at it. If you're not practicing seeking and reading and studying and worshiping, you're not going to be very good at it. So please don't be thinking like, oh, I'm going to be good at it. If you just like a person naturally, I use exercising because this is when you treat your body in the most cruel way that it may be obedient to you. But if you don't practice doing that, then guess what happens? It'll overcome you. It won't produce when you need it. This is real simple, right? Salak. Right? You got Sad, Lamet, and Ka. If one has studied their alphabets, but hey, if you like you said, if you don't practice it, you're not going to be very good at it. And usually when people are not very good at something, they always bash the people who are. Yeah, it's like anybody. If you're a winner, if you're good at it, they're going to bash you because you're good at it. I'm good at praying and worshiping and studying and doing the things I'm supposed to. And I'm prospering. I'm doing the things I'm supposed to. And you're really good at it. And they see it. You're good at speaking at the bar. And when they see it, they get mad. And guess what they need? They need to zip their mouth. But they're going to open their mouth and say things out. And then Satan come in there like a smoke and teach them all types of sin and make them say all types of things they should not say. And then now they spoke bold words against Yahuwah, and then now you're in a point where you're not sow the seed in Yahuwah's mind, your mother and your father. It ain't growed up yet because it has to grow and grow some fruit. But eventually, that thing gonna grow in some fruit in their mind, and they're gonna remember what you did and what you said. The same thing when it comes to your natural father and mother and your children and your wife and your husband and your friend and your companion, your sister, brother. They're gonna remember what you said. Because that tree, that seed you sowed, that rod, it's gonna rise up in their mind. They're gonna be like, I remember that. Especially around summertime. And you're gonna see the type of fruit you yield in your life. Right? So you look at Selach, right? Equals to 128. Right? Selach. 128 is equals to what? 11. When you add all the numbers up, smallest number, you get 2. So you got 11. If everybody's doing it, you got 11. So you got 2. What equals to 2? There's 2 houses, right? Bereshith bara, the house, the beginning. The beginning of creation. Bayith. You got the 2 houses, Yasharal and Yehuda. You got the 2 sides of your mind, your left and your right brain. You got your 2 arms, your 2 legs, your 2 cheekbones, your 2 hemispheres of your brain, your 2 kidneys, your 2 feet, your 2 hands. You're gonna succeed with your body. You're gonna succeed with your thoughts. You're gonna succeed by bringing them in subjection. That's how you're gonna succeed. And bring them into discipline, right? So this is 1st, 2nd Enoch, by Enoch Kanuk, chapter 43, right? It says, my children, every just deed and every just decree and every just decision I have checked, just as Yahuwah commanded me. So he said, I done checked it all. In all things I discovered differences. For just as one year is more honorable than another year, so last year what one did, last year times 7th month, Shabbat Chdash, it was a little different. What you yielded last year, what you harvested last year, is not going to be the same thing what you harvest this year. So one person is more honorable than another person. So as one year different from another year, so one person honorable than another year. Some because of much property. Some I got a lot of land. Some because of wisdom of heart. I know wisdom in a certain subject matter. It goes beyond. Some because of singular intelligence. Just like Shalom had all that hukmah, and Yahusha come and say what? He said, man, that lily greater than him. Because that lily obeys Yahuwah. Whether it turns purple, whether it turns dark purple, he makes it beautiful. Some because of singular intelligence, because I got all this intelligence. I'm smart, I'm intelligent. Some because of craftiness, because they're real skilled at being crafty and sneaky. Some because of silence of lips. That's what we talked about. They're trying to be silent. Because they're considered wise. Because you're silent. But even a fool, when he is silent, is considered wise. So just because somebody's silent don't mean they wise until they open their mouth and speak. The time to speak. If they ain't speaking the bar, speaking truth, then they have none. They're not wise. It's not wise to say anything other than that. Or to even have your conversation seasoned with it. Some, again, because of purity. Because the one that's very pure, oh man, you're pure. You can still be pure. Clean yourself, wash yourself, clean your body out, have clean organs, nice, clean body, and still be wicked in your spiritual man. So some because of strength. As they go to the gym, they have all these attributes. They have all, you see it all on Instagram, right? Everybody all in shape. They got like 1 million followers, 500,000. They got ripped up, body ripped up, right? It says some, again, for a handsome appearance, some models, because they look good. They model after their appearance. And amazingly, Yahuwah said, I made Adam and Damuth Salim. He modeled and fashioned you after his kind. But you know what people do today? They walk outside. They don't even care how they look. They say, I'm serving Yahuwah, the one in the highest Shamayim. And I don't even wash my skin. I don't even clean my body. I don't even dress properly. I don't even comb my hair. I just look wild and crazy because I want to make my husband look bad. I want to make it seem like I'm being oppressed when I just don't want to be a servant. This is what some people do. This is what some people do. People do this. It says some again of strength, some again because of handsome appearance. Some because of youth, because you look like you're 20, you look like you're 15, man. How old are you? I'm only 30, I'm only 20. I'm like Yusuf, right? Beauty of face, right? Some because of youth, some again because of penetrating mind. Like they can speak very well, they got a penetrating mind. When they're speaking, it has a penetration in your thought process. Some again because of bodily appearance. Because some bodily appearance, they look good. And some again because of abundant feelings. They have so much compassion. Oh man, they're giving and loving and caring, right? But even though these things are heard on every side, because everybody has their pinnacle in their life. Nevertheless, there is no one better than he who fears Yahuwah. He or she, man, woman, child, who fears Yahuwah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much money, rich, quintillionaire, Googleplex, sextillionaire, decicillionaire. He's saying, man, millionaire, trillionaire, billionaire. He's saying, man, ain't no one better than who fears Yahuwah. No one better. He will be most glorious in that age. So you're gonna be the most. Yeah, you're gonna have the most kabod in that age. When that time comes, there's a time for everything under the sun. A season, a zaman. The time to keep silence and the time to debar. A time for war and a time for shalom. This first Enoch 101, Pseudepigrapha Volume 1. Examine the Shamayim, you sons of Shamayim, so the children of light. When you look at the stars, look at the constellations, you look at the movement patterns of the cosmos. Right, you look at the Kima, the Ketsil, look at how they move in their alignments, in the patterns. You look at when the sun and Shemesh rises out of the portal, you're looking at all the constellations and how they move in certain rainy seasons, harvest seasons and winter seasons, and autumn seasons. They all have a certain appearance in the sky before these transition times take place. Examine them. And he said, all the works of Yahuwah, and be afraid to do Ra in his presence. Look at all the things he created. He said, be afraid to do Ra in his presence. That's why he said you stand at the gate. Stay locked. He said, it's going to accomplish what I sent it to do. The bar. He said, be afraid to do Ra in his presence. You come inside and you enter this course with thanksgiving and praise, and then you do Ra in his sight. He said, be afraid. Just like you and your mother and father. When somebody come in your mother, that's why mothers and fathers got to be righteous and pure. Because when somebody come in your presence, they should be afraid to do Ra in your presence. He said, the fear and dread, you're going to be on all the goyim. They should be afraid to do Ra in your presence. But, it ain't like that. Yahuwah's children doing the evil in Ra in their presence. And his name is being blasphemed. It's like a father and a mother's name get blasphemed in the community, in the city, because of children. Just like a husband's name get blasphemed and get ridiculed from a rebellious daughter from a father who didn't raise her properly. Or she rebelled in her father's house. You become a laughingstock in the city because of one woman. It's the same thing. It says, if he closes the windows of Shamayim and hinders the rain and the dew from descending upon the earth because of you, what will you do? So if you do Ra in his presence, he hinders the rain, it gives bread to the eater and seed to the sower. If he hinders the rain, you're gonna die. There ain't gonna be no crops on the earth. There's gonna be drought and famine and pestilence. Because you got no proper nutrients in your body. Then you ain't getting the proper nutrients in your body, ain't getting alkaline because the herbs ain't growing. The summer fruit ain't growing. You ain't getting H3O2. You ain't getting the thing nutrients in your body. So if he hinders the rain, you don't get none of that. So why are you doing evil in his presence? Shamayim is throne. The earth is his footstool. And the dew from descending upon the earth because of you, what will you do? That's why the only reason he stops it from happening. When you don't get rain, the spiritual word, the bar, or if you don't get rain on the ground and the soil, is because of what you do. Or if his anger against you and your deeds, is it not you who wouldn't treat him? You would pray. You'd be like, we need rain. We need your rain. We need that. Because if we don't get your rain, we're going to die. We ain't going to have no food to eat. Our trees ain't going to grow. Our fruit ain't going to bear. That's how you have to look at it in your mind. And that's how you have to look at it when it comes to your natural world. Because if you plant seed, and you didn't forsake farming, then you understand why it's so important to not be raw in his sight. When you plant the seed, you're depending on him to send the rain to grow the food. Because if you don't, then you appreciate it more. That's probably why people don't actually thank their mother and their father anymore, because they get rain all the time and they just neglect it because they don't farm anymore and they don't plant seeds. So therefore, they got their own water holes and they spraying it. They got their own reservoirs, but there ain't no rain. They ain't gonna have no food. No pure water. Ain't gonna be no food. Guess what it says? When you not even treat you, because you utter bold and hard words against his righteousness, you shall have no shalom. He says it's a time to speak. There's a time for war and time for shalom. You ain't gonna have no peace. You're gonna war in your mind with Satan. If you do evil in sight and your deeds are evil, you're gonna have wars within yourself. You ain't gonna have no shalom. Be afraid to do raw in his presence. You ain't gonna have no peace. People say, I will have no shalom. I want shalom. Then stop doing evil. Stop treating people right. Start loving your neighbors. You love yourself. Start doing good deeds. Start being a servant. Start mumbling, grumbling, complaining. Stop screaming and yelling at your husband. Yahuwah Elohim. Yahushua Mashiach. Stop yelling at your husband. Stop screaming at your husband. Stop mumbling and grumbling, complaining to your husband. Start serving him with joy and gladness at his feet. Start serving your husband with joy and gladness at his feet, and you will have a lot of peace within yourself. But if you do nothing, you do evil deeds and raw, and you speak hard and bold words against his righteousness, it's just like if somebody speak hard, bold words against their mother and father, or hard and bold words against their husband, and guess what happens? You ain't gonna have no peace. And it's all because of you. Nobody else, right? This is a cod, or first Enoch 49:1. So wisdom flows down like water. So if you withhold the water because of your deeds, it's because of you. I'm taking my time with this. Why? Because he says that wisdom flows down like water. And kabod is measureless before him, forever and ever. For his might is in all the mysteries of righteousness. That's where it's at. If you don't give you no water, you ain't going to know the mysteries of righteousness. And oppression will vanish like a shadow having no foundation. The elect one stands before Yahuwah, the master of spirits. His kabod is forever and ever, and his power is unto all generations. He's the master of spirits in all generations. In him dwells the ruach of wisdom, because it flows on like water. Wisdom is what allows things to grow. Chukma is what allows things to grow. The spirit which gives thoughtfulness. What gives you your thoughts? Wisdom, the ruach of wisdom gives you your thoughtfulness, not the ruach of Satan. The ruach of knowledge and strength, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. He shall judge the secret things, and no one will be able to utter vain words in his presence. So all the vanity that one can be, he said, you're not even going to utter a vain word in his presence. He said, no, that can't come in. Nope, that can't come in. Say lie. It's going to succeed in what I sent it to do. That can't come in. It's like you can't utter vain words in his presence. That's the same thing when he's talking about coming my mother and father's presence, not my father's house, uttering vain words. Vain words is not the bar. You ain't uttering over the bar in my presence? He's like, no, don't come in. For he is the elect one before Yahuwah, the master of spirits according to his good pleasure. So he the elect one, the master of spirits according to his good pleasure. So one thing, you're going to come into Jerusalem above the city and get into the gates of the city with all types of things. He the master of spirits. He going to see your spirits. He going to see if you have a different type of ruach. That's what he going to see. a different type of spirit. Right. So this is Mashali Proverbs 24, 3-5. By wisdom is a house built. Chukmah. Why? Because out of his mouth flows wisdom. Wisdom flows down like water. Just like rain and snow. Giving bread to the eater and seed to the sower. By wisdom is a house built, and by understanding it is established. Chukmah and binah. And by da'ath, the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. That's how this is the gate of life. There's a city of good works. Everything's in there. But it says, verse 5, a wise man or woman is full of strength. Or child. They're full of strength. Are you wise today? Are you strong? Or are you fainting in your mind because Satan got in your head? Because you only can go 20 minutes. You can't go an hour. You can't pray an hour. You can't even exercise an hour. You can't even exercise your mind an hour. You can't even sit still for an hour. Because Satan in your mind. A wise man is full of strength, and a man of knowledge enhances his might. So you got to have knowledge. Da'ath. Where's the da'ath? You got to speak da'ath. The bar. That's how you enhance your might. That's why it says iron sharpens iron. You're enhancing your might. You're actually, when you're training together, that's why Akkad is important. Why? Because you're enhancing your might. I have a training partner. The only thing you're doing is enhancing your might. Why do you think people do combat training, or they do training and exercise, or team training, or things of that sort? Why? Because all these are all ways that one can enhance their might or enhance their skills. Self-defense, enhance their skill. But if you do nothing, he said just lay around, you're inequipped. So when the situations come, you're gonna get beat. And that's why people lose today. Right? It says enhance it. A man of knowledge enhances his might. So you got the amatz, kuach. You enhance your koach. Your amatz, the koach. Or ish, right? A man, an ish, and da'ath, his knowledge, ma'amath, koach. So if you're an ish, and if you don't have da'ath, you are weak. You say, if you don't have if you're not a wise ish, you have no strength. If you don't have no wisdom, you can't even build a house. And you don't have no understanding, you can't even establish it. This is why households are failed. This is why. Because my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Da'ath. And then for the lack of knowledge, they ain't got no might. They ain't got no strength. They ain't got no understanding. They can't even build a house. They can't even establish one. And you wonder why people can't establish one today. You know why? Wonder why they ain't strong. You want to know why? Because everybody rebellious. The husband don't have no wisdom, knowledge, or understanding. No knowledge. The woman don't respect her husband. She hates him. She don't want him to rule over him. The children are wicked, and they don't want to listen to the parents. And they don't even defend their parents. They don't even guard their parents from people uttering vain words and bringing all these types of evil behaviors in their presence. A woman don't even defend her husband's heart. And a husband don't feed them with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And he ain't got no strength, and he ain't got no might to defend them, whether spiritually or naturally. That's why. All right, so this is the word for wisdom, chukmah. It means wisdom, shrewdness, wisdom, skillful. That's how you have to be, skillful. Wise, skill. You got to be very skilled, especially when you're dealing with Satan. And if you get inside one of your, how you say? If you get inside, you gotta know how to get rid of him. You gotta know how, cause if he in there, if the spirit of laziness is in your house, you gotta know how to get rid of him, cause the lazy spirit produces fungus, and that fungus produces what? Disease, and that disease produces what? A pale face, and when somebody has a pale face, that's death, because they sick. That's why. So the word for it enhances is amatz. It says a man of knowledge enhances his might. To be strong, you be alert. You're going to see him because your adversary, the devil, seeking whom you may devour. Courageous, brave. You're going to be brave. You're going to be make firm. You're going to be determined to strengthen oneself. You're going to be strong. You're going to be stronger. You're going to be alert. You're going to confirm, be courageous. You're going to be strengthened. You're going to be stout. You're going to be bold. When you have knowledge, you're going to be bold. And you enhance your might. You say enhance your what? Your koach, your strength, your power, human strength, power, strength, wealth. Unclean, kind of a lizard. It makes you transform, make you get bigger. You be transformed by renewing your mind, right? Amatz, force. It enhances your force. Your force. Keep that in mind. Your force. The only thing people look at right now, they look at wealth, but I'm going to get some money. I'm going to get this. They don't even know that wisdom and understanding is better than silver and gold and money. That's the same thing women need to actually look at before they start. They want to run out here. He's saying be wealthy. They don't got no wisdom and understanding and knowledge. Or men, right? It's the same thing. They seek their own unjust gain. Everybody's seeking their own gain. Nobody thinking about wisdom and understanding. Because wisdom and understanding is what actually allows things to how you say, to build it firm, so you can produce, so you can be powerful. Because wealth is wisdom and knowledge and understanding, ability. You can't be powerful without it. He said, "Be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove." Right? Man, he said a large lizard. He said, "Be transformed by renewing your mind." You shed skin every week. You growing. Like nobody grows into a full-grown child. Nobody grows full-grown. You have it takes over time. But at the same time, strength. So the Tehillim 1:11 and 2, great are the works of Yahuwah, studied by all who delight in them. So if you delight in it, I delight to do thy will. Thy Torah is in my mind, in my blood vessels, in my capillaries, in my axons, in my dendrites, in my RNA and DNA. It's in my pituitary, pineal, frontal lobe. It's in my left and right brain. It's in my masculine and feminine. It's in my hands and my feet. It's in my hypothalamus. It says, full of splendor and majesty is his works, and righteousness endures forever. It's full of it. The word for studied is darash, right? This is every day, morning, noon, evening. 7 times a day. It says the word for studied is darash. It means to seek with care, be frequent. A place to seek. It says prayer and worship, to practice, to study, to follow, to seek with care, to be sought out. Diligent. To resort to investigate, right? That's what people got to do when they hear things, gossip and slander and hatred and envy and strife. You need to investigate. Make sure you ain't entangled. Inquire. Darash, right? All these are important. Seek with care. Seek with compassion and love, right? But that's the whole point. So we look at all these attributes, and you say, why are you always going through all of this? And it takes about an hour to go through it all. Why? Because a lot of people, and even including me in my life, earlier in my life, I lack these things. And when you look at your life, look at how your life would be with the right intellect and knowledge and understanding and da'at. And being fed it every single day. A time to speak and a time to Time to keep silent, time to speak. You sit in the house, walk by the way, lie down, you rise up. You become a better human being with a better mind, a better decision. And you can see Satan coming, just like Seth did with Adam and Kuil when he came to Seth and tried to get him to go off with him He said, I have to tell my mother and my father I'm going to. And Satan said, no, you don't. You don't need to tell your mother and your father. Just come with me. But he said, I've never done anything in my whole life unless I've told my parents, my mother and my father. And that's how Seth grew up. So this is Bamidbar, Numbers 13, 1 through 24. It says, Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, send men to spy out the land. So he says, Shelach, send them. It's going to accomplish what I sent it to do. That's what he said. It's going to accomplish what I sent it to do, right? He said, send them out, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the people of Yasharal. He's like, so I'm giving it to them. Go ahead and see what it's about. From each tribe of their fathers, you shall send a man, every one a chief among them. So he said, send every man a chief among them, and send them to go spy out the land. To go spy it out. Go see what's going on. He said, send them out from each tribe. So Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran according to the commandment of Yahuwah. So Yahuwah spoke, and he did. He said, so my word be that go up my mouth. He's going to accomplish what I sent you to do. So by him being obedient, this is accomplishing what I told it. And all of them men who were heads of the people of Yasharal, they were all heads. Because you had a family. So you remember, these are 12 families. And each brother was the head of their family. Each was the head of their family, because the man is the head of the family. That's why he has men above his household. Why? Because they are the heads. They are the heads. Think about your mind. I mean, your mind has 12 cranial nerves. What do you think rules your mind? What do you think rules your 12 melanin center? What do you think ruins your mind? What do you think rules your thought process? Your mind does. Your fruit, your 12 manners of fruit. What do you think rules? It says, and these were the names of the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, the son of Zakur. From the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, the son of Hori, Shamuan, right? Shaphat, the son of Hori. From the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, the son of Yafunah. From the tribe of Yatsakar, Igal, the son of Yusuf. From the tribe of Ephraim, Husha, the son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palati, the son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zabulun, Gadial, the son of Sadi. From the tribe of Yusuf, that is the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Susi. From the tribe of Dan, Ami Al, the son of Gamali. From the tribe of Asher, Sathur, the son of Mikal. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, the son of Bashi. From the tribe of Gad, Gawal, the son of Maki. You say all these, he sent 12 of them out. But look at this person right here. Caleb, the son of Yafunah, and Husha, the son of Nun. All right, so what Caleb means dog. Man, Caleb was a dog, forcible. He says a man of knowledge enhances his force. He was forcible, Koach. He was Koach. He said a man of knowledge enhances his might. Boy, he was mighty. He was Koach. That's what he was, Koach. Caleb, he was a dog too. He was a dog. What do dogs do? Dogs are obedient. When he told Gideon, when he went to the water, he said, man, those who who put their hand and drink, he said, man, send them back. But the one who lapped like a dog, he's like, that's what you want. Man, they enhanced their might. He said, man, he forcible, but they mighty. That's Qahalath. That's what he is, right? Keep that in mind. Right? Yaphunath, right? He was the son of Yaphunath. Because a son do what his father do. What's what the father does, the son does likewise. He said he will be facing. He will be facing. He will be prepared. So you got a man who has, he said, a man of knowledge. He said a wise man is strong, but a man of knowledge enhances his might. He had Qahalath, and he was prepared. So when you got might, if you got knowledge and wisdom and understanding, you are prepared. You are prepared not only to build a house, to put things inside of the house, you are prepared to establish it and to build it. And you are mighty. You got to be a mighty man to do that. You got to be a mighty woman to even help to do that. To even keep it together. You got to be mighty. Powerful. You got to be powerful. That's what it does. Qahalath is powerful. You only can do it as one, right? But he says, and he will be facing, and he will be prepared. That's what happens. You ain't got no, he say preparation. You will be prepared. That's the problem. People ain't preparing them. That's the problem. But notice how Mishah sent them out by the command. He shelach, and all of them went out to spy out the land, just like Yahuwah commanded. Let's see. He says the word for Hoshea is Husha. His name means salvation. So you got the force, the prepared Ish, who is Qahalath, is salvation. The attack dog, the force, the force. His name is he called him Husha. The force is salvation. The Qahalath, the mighty, the powerful one. It means salvation. It means to deliver. It means set you free. That's what the bar means. It means to set you free. He said knowledge, the wisdom means to set you free, deliver. Husha, right? So you got Noon. For he said he's the son of Noon. Husha is the son of Noon. It means posterity. It means fish, right? Noon. Right? Perpetuity, right? It also means when you go to the Noon in the 14th letter of the alphabet, because 14 generations. But it means potentiality. It means capable of moving immediately. It means seed. It means continual life. It means continual. That's what it means. Continual. He was salvation continual. Husha, the son of Noon. He was very wise. Right? You look at all these attributes of an individual, and then you say, why was his posterity so wise, right? Why was his knowledge so wise? And you look at your life, and you saying, is your salvation continual? Right? Do you have force? What type of ruach did you have? What type of ruach do you have? Right? You look at posterity. Posterity is a descendant of a person. He's a descendant of continual life, a seed. Remember, he says the wisdom flow down like water. It gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. That's what water does. And it's continual. When it's continual and the water's continual, it's going to give you seed and bread. And it'll be salvation for you. But he says a man of knowledge enhances his Qahalath. He's a force. He's a dog. He's just like a dog. Right? When you look at posterity, right? And also continual life. So let's keep moving forward. So you look at this, verse 16, continue on in the same chapter. These were the names of the men who Chmy'shy sent to spy out the land. They sent them out. He Shalah. And Chmy'shy called Husha, the son of Nun, Yahusha. Chmy'shy called Husha, the son of Nun, Yahusha, which means Yah is salvation. He the son of Nun. So now Yah is salvation, and it's continual. It is the seed. It is the seed. It's continual, and it is life. It says, and Chmy'shy sent them to spy out the land of Canaan, and said to them, go up to Negeb and go up to into the hill country. He said, go up into the hill country and see what the land is. To see what the land is. I want you to see what it is. And whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak. I want to see if they got some co-op. See if they powerful. See if they mighty. See if they say a lot. See if they succeeding. See if they're strong and weak. Whether they are few or many. Whether there be a bunch of them or just a little remnant. And whether the land that they dwell is good land or bad. See if they take care of the land. See if the land is the way it's supposed to be. And whether the cities they dwell in are camps or strongholds. See if they are camps or strongholds. Places they gotta keep themselves in clothing, or are they just camps? Or whether the land is rich or poor. See if they got some money. See if they got all that. See if the land is yielding crops and increase. See if they got the very increase of the water that comes down from the highest Shamayim. The increase. The seed to sow and bread to eat. See if it's a place where you can eat. He said, if Yahuwah withhold rain because of your deeds and what you do, will you not entreat him? He said, see if this land it has these things. And whether there are trees in it or not. So you got to have trees, eights. You got to have trees around you. I don't know where people want to live in places where ain't no trees. Why you want to live in places ain't no trees around? Trees are good. Trees clean the air. They filter out certain attributes. They allow you to breathe properly. Be of good courage and bring some of the fruit of the land. He said, be of good courage and bring some of the fruit of the land. Because it's summertime. We're at the end of we're ending summer. Going into early winter. Hey, man, it's summertime. He's like, man, bring that stuff. Let me see what it looked like. It says, now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. Fruit. I want to see what type of fruit this land is bearing. They got trees there? You got any fruit on the trees? Are they rich and poor? Are they raw or ta'ub? Is the land raw or ta'ub? Is it strong or weak or few and many? Right, you want to be honest about it. You be like, man, this place, man, it's a land flowing with milk and honey. And then, people say, man, it's a land flowing with milk and honey. It's a desert. Man, you brought up a bad report about the land. The land is desert. That people be lying out their mouth. Good and well that place, how you say it? Good and well the place is a desert, but then you want to go say they got fruit and land and all that. You got all these things. Ain't nothing going on there. Everybody richer. They got rich and poor. They got cancer stronghold. Is it polluted? Is it destroyed? Is it being taken care of? Is it got fruit? It got trees? Right, people saying, well, kazab, shakir, right, false report, lying, right, but this is all a part of it. But this is the whole point. He said, I want you to do these things, and I want you to tell me what it's about, right? This is verse 21. So keep that all in mind. You go see the land. They say they come to see the land, whether it's many, whether it's few or many, whether it has trees, it has fruit, all these ripe grapes, right? Just keep that in mind. Does it have ripe grapes? So they went up and spied out the land. They were obedient. In wilderness of Zin, to Rahab and Leo Hamath. They went up to Negeb and came to Hebron. Amiman, Shishai, and Tamai, right? The descendants of Anak were there. So they saw the children of Anak. It says, And they came to the valley of Eshcol and cut down from there a branch with a cluster of grapes. This is the time of first ripe grapes. It's the summer fruit time. He said, I saw he said clusters of grapes, and they carried it on a pole between them. They carried it on a pole between them. I want you to go see the land if there are any grapes and harvest it. And they carried it on a pole between them. That's how big the grapes were. They had to carry it on a pole. And they carried it between them. It was a branch, man. It had so much fruit on it. It had so much fruit, so much grapes on it, man. It was ridiculous how much on it. And they also brought pomegranates and figs. Where do you find pomegranates and figs and grapes at? In the Gan, in the Karim, in the vineyard. People saying, what type of men, what type of Isha and Isha are you supposed to be? It says that virtuous woman, she planted a vineyard. She had grapes, she had pomegranates, figs, apple trees. She had the herbs. They had all of the healthy food for their family. The same way when it came to an Ish, when he said, build houses, plant a vineyard, put wives, right? Bear children. You give their sons and daughters and bear children. And you may be fruitful and multiply. Why? Because these are all the attributes of Koach, mighty people, powerful people. These are all the attributes of powerful, mighty people who have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, guess what it says? That place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster that the people of Yasharal cut down from there. That's the same thing he told them to do. You see, he said, it's just like he said. A land flowing with everything you need. A land flowing with pomegranates and figs and grape clusters and fruits. Notice it says pomegranates, figs, and grapes. These are all he said every herb yielding seed was going to be for food. Bearing fruit is going to be for food for you. Didn't he say that to them in Bereshit chapter 1, verse 26, 27, 28? Yahuwah said, I change not. He said, you're going to need these fruits. You're going to need these fruits. Because that's how you live. Verse 25 says, at the end of 40 days, keep all that stuff in mind, they returned from spying out the land. So after 40 days, they returned from spying out the land. When Yahushua fasted 40 days and 40 nights. And they said he was in where? He was in the forest. He was in the trees. Man, he was looking at the sea. If there were any grapes or clusters. He was looking at the sea if the land was like he said it was supposed to be. What do you think he was doing? And amazingly, when he was in the wilderness, Satan came and tempted him. Man, I seen the children of Anak there as well. Verse 26 says, and they came to Mashah and Aaron and all the congregation of the people of Yasharal in the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all of the congregation. They brought it all back. Man, they showed it to him. And he showed them the fruit of the land. He showed them all the fruit of the land. He brought it back to the people. He showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him, we came to the land to which you sent it. And it flows with, it says milk and honey. And this is the fruit. It flows with crops. It flows with trees. It flows with fruits that we can eat. Fruits and herbs and vegetables. It flows with it. Milk and honey. Fruits and vegetables. And fruits and pomegranates. Right? Good and well, one ain't supposed to be drinking no cow milk. Right? And he said honey, but don't even know. People don't even know what this stuff is. But at the same time, when we look at milk and honey, we're talking about abundance of fruits. However, the people who dwell in the land are strong. He said, man, they co-op. I guess they don't believe they got any co-op. Wisdom, I understand. They don't believe they got any strength. And the cities are fortified and very large. So they bring it back. And besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there. He's like, man, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of Negeb, and the Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the hill country, and the Canaanites dwell in the sea, along in the Yarden. So now they see the land, they see it flowing with fruits and vegetables and all the things they see it's a good land. They see all these attributes. Yahuwah said, I'm going to give you this land. If you diligently obey my voice, that's what they did. Why do you think? Mashah, and they did it. Everybody did what they're supposed to. But then when they see the children of Anak, they see very large cities. They see the descendants of Anak there. They see all the battle, the war that's getting ready to take place. There's a time to war and there's a time for peace. Matter of fact, there's a time to keep silence and there's a time to speak. Debar. Let's go to verse 30. He says, but Caleb quieted. That word for quiet is hasa, the same word that you saw in Qahalath. He said, there's a time to speak, there's a time to keep silent, there's a time to speak. He quieted the people. He said, hasa. He said, silence. Silence. Because they were speaking things out of their mouth, all error and doubt. Because that was error and doubt. They were speaking doubts out of their mind. Where did error and doubts come from? We just talked about it. Satan, the artificer of all error and doubt. They were speaking doubt out of their mind. And Caleb said, be quiet, Satan. Hassa. Silence. And the people of Mashah, he said, Hassa, he quieted the people before Mashah and said, let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it. He ain't doubt not one time. He had no error and doubt in his mind. He hassa. He said silence. Then the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are. Didn't Yahuwah say that he's going to give it to him? But guess what? Here comes Satan. You got Satan fighting against the bar, hassa. We are well able to overcome it. And he said it even in front of Mashah, the leader, right? He said it in front of them. He quieted them. He said, hassa. He said, then the men who had gone up to him said, we are not able to go up against it, the people. So how you got team, you go with other people and teammates and people, whether your family, brothers, sisters, or anybody, they go up and they got doubts, and then you trying to go up with them. You're like, man, hassa, be quiet, shut up. But then they come back, we are not able to do it. They weak in the mind. They ain't got no co-op. They ain't got wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and co-op in their mind. That's the reason why. So they brought to the people of Yashar a bad report. So now, man, you done brought the people a bad report. So now you ever have one part of your brain. Because remember, you got 12 cranial nerves, 12 melons or 12 melons of fruit, and you got only one fruit. You only got one part of your brain that's functioning, and the other 11 parts all over the place. You got 2 parts of your brain that's functioning, and then you got all of the other parts. You got 10 parts of your brain that are not. So you got 2 parts that are functioning. And what tribe was Caleb from? He was from Yehuda. But then you had the other 10, and then you had Yahusha from the tribe of Ephraim. And guess what? You had the other 10. Then the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go against this people, for they are stronger than we are. You had other 10 who had error and doubt. They had Satan in them. So they brought back to the people of Yashar a bad report. They brought slander. They slandered what Yahuwah said. And it's just like Yahuwah said. And they slandered him. That they had spied out the land, saying, the land from which we have gone spying it out, a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw are a great height. And there were the Nephilim. Why? Because the Nephilim were people who ate human flesh. They devour people. They eat. Why do you think there were fruits and things on the trees? They weren't eating no fruit. They weren't eating what who were commanding the Bereshith. They were eating flesh. He said, man, we saw the children of Anak, the sons of Anak, who come from the Nephilim. They come from the children of the fallen, of some Jaws and the 200, and their offspring. The DNA don't leave, man. DNA stay. How did DNA still here today when he said he destroyed everybody? DNA found a way to come back. Those attributes, those behavior found a way to come back. Them evil spirits found a way to come back. And we seem to ourselves like grasshoppers. They were real tiny grasshoppers. And so we seemed to them. They were tiny. We like grasshoppers to them. And they were real huge. They were tall. Man, these giants are huge, right? See, when you have people, you have 11 part, 2 people that believe, and you got the rest don't. You say, man, like grasshoppers. He said, because you know that word for quiet is hasad, the same word. It's 7, right? There's a time for that, right? You got the ha, you got the hey, you got the sam, you got the hey. Right? It means what? To keep silence, to hold your peace, to hush, to keep silence. The hey, the samic, and the hey, which is 7, silence. Keep silence. Keep silence. There's a time to be silent and a time to speak. Hussah. It's time for them to not to speak right now. But yet they talking. And Caleb's like, Hussah. Stop slandering Yahuwah. Don't speak bold words against his righteousness. Isn't that what he just said? If I withhold rain, it is God because of your deeds. And you speak bold words against his righteousness. And they speaking bold words. And they saying things out their mouth. And Caleb is like, Hussah, silence. Satan. Right? So the word for Anak is neck. Anak is Anak. It means neck. Neck. They got big necks, long necks. The Canaanites. He said, man, these children of the fallen. These are sons of Anak. The children of the Nephilim. Of the Nephilim. Long necks. Right? These are children of Shamjaza in the 200 who invaded the earth and stole and committed adultery. Long necks. Right? This is Amos 8:1. This is what Yahuwah Elohim showed me. A basket of summer fruits or queets. And he said to me, Amos, what do you see? I said, a basket of summer fruit. And they what they brought? They brought pomegranates, figs, and they brought the grapes. He said, man, this is good. Then Yahuwah said to me, the end has come upon my people, Yasharal. I will never pass by them again. The song in the temples shall become wailing in the days, declares Yahuwah Elohim. So many dead bodies. They will be thrown everywhere. Hussah, silence. 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 It's going to be silence. Hussah. Hear this, you who trample the needy and bring the poor of the land to an end. Hear this. Why would he say to bring the poor and needy of the land to an end? Because he came to spy out your land. He came to spy out your land, and he saw. He came with his Nabi to spy out your land, and he saw that you got the poor and the needy, and you bring them to an end. He said, man, I seen a basket of summer fruit. But he just like Caleb. He said, Hassad. I mean, he is forcible. He got Koach. Matter of fact, he a dog. And when the new moon be over, you got what it said, saying, when will the new moon be over, that we may sell grain, and the Shabbat, that we may offer wheat for sale. That's all the people are all worried about is their gain, their wealth. They don't know that wisdom and understanding is great gain. That we may make the ephah small and the shekel great, and deal deceitfully with false mazon, balances. False. Right? Because you know the word is hasad, silence. Right? Look at the seventh day, right? You look at the seventh day, you look at Zaman. There's a season for everything. There's a season for everything. The bar, right? There's a time for everything. Zaman equals to 7. There's a time for that. There's a season. Hassah. It wasn't a season. It wasn't a time for them to be speaking. Hassah. Caleb said Hassah. And he quieted the people. Quiet. Stop slandering our father and mother. Yahuwah. Stop slandering the Elohim and the highest Shamayim. But guess what? They kept doing it. They kept talking. Everybody running their mouth, right? Everybody talking. Hassah, he said, I'm not going to pass by my people no more. He said, there going to be many dead bodies thrown everywhere. Hassah, right? The Midbar 14:1. Right? This is Numbers 14, 1 through 11. Then all the congregation raised a loud cry, and the people wept that night. Because of all the evil report and the things that people have said. Because of the seeds that was sown by Satan. Through the 10 who went. It says, and all the people Yahshua grumbled against Moshe and Aaron. That's the only reason it happened. Because you have other people saying things to the rest of the people. You got the leaders, whom were the heads, saying things to the people and causing them to faint in their mind. That's the same thing people do today. They be saying all types of evil and rod and Satan ought to come out of their mouth. And error and doubt. And they say it and they sow it in people's mind. And then guess what happens after that? That's the same thing a mother, a father does to their children. That's the same thing a husband does to his wife, or a wife does to her husband or do her children. That's the same thing these heads do today. That's the same thing the leaders do today. And you have the people crying and weeping all night. All night. The whole congregation said to them, would that we had died in the land of Mizraim. That's how people faint in their mind. Because of you. Because you're supposed to be these Koach, wisdom and knowledge and understanding, full of Koach, dogs, attack dogs, forcible. Yah is salvation, right? That's what you're supposed to be. A continual seed, but yet you sow error and doubt and fear of the people around. We're like grasshoppers in their sight. And you say, you forsook the one who's greater than all. He said, would we had died in Mizraim, or would that we had died in this wilderness? Why is Yahuwah bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Now they got error and doubt in their mind. Who do you think put it in their mind all night? They crying and weeping all night. What do you think going to happen in the middle of the night? What do you happen? Man, Satan teaching them all types of error and doubt in their mind. Now they got error and doubt all in their mind because of other people who had error and doubt, and it spread now to the people. Now they're in their tents, and they crying and weeping all night. And now here they wake up. They wake up in the morning, and the only thing they ain't thinking about the bar speaking this word when you sit in the house, walk by way and lie down and rise up. They weren't thinking about that last night when they were laying down, and when they rose up. What did they speak? What they thought about? Would that we had died in this wilderness. Why is Yahuwah bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Now they got error and doubt. Now they don't even believe anymore. And guess what it says? Our wives and our little ones will become prey. Notice how these are men talking. The heads. They were crying and weeping all night. Would it not be better for us to go back to Mizraim? That's exactly why people do it. Because all of the heads, and then they speak to all the rest of the people, the heads and the men and the women, and then guess what? They cause other people to go back to Mizraim. Because you got error and doubt in your mind. You got Satan in your mind. I'm gonna help you go back. Man, only you supposed to be helping the Zarda Yahushua Mashiach to each child supposed to be helping her to her husband, not to make them go back to Mizraim. Would it be better if we go back to Mizraim? And they said to one another, let us choose a leader and go back into Mizraim. That's what people do. They want to choose somebody to lead them back into Mizraim. Notice they all need a leader to lead them back. Lead them forward and lead them backwards. Not interested. That's what people say. You want to choose me to be your leader and lead you back in Mizraim? Not interested, like he said. Then Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces. That's his like, get on the ground. Like he says. He said, I'm not going to pass by Yahshua no more. He said, there will be many dead bodies. It shall be thrown everywhere. He said, and they fell on their faces in the middle of the Aydah, the people, other Aydah, of the community of Yasharal, and Yahusha, or Husha, the son of Nun, the Yah salvation, the continual seed of life, and Caleb, the dog, Caleb the dog, the forcible dog, Yafunah, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes and said to all the congregation of the people of Yasharal, the land which we passed through to spy it out is an exceedingly good land. They would hit the ground too. Everybody hitting the ground. Notice the people that are defending the Debar, defending Yahuwah, the ones who hitting the ground, they're defending the Debar. How could you supposed to speak these words when you sit in the house and you walk by, when you lie down, when you rise up? When these people rose up, they were speaking error and doubt. And the children of, how you say, talking like Satan. And then Caleb and Yahusha, Mashah and Aaron, they hitting the ground. And then everybody hitting the ground. Aaron know they getting the ground. Aaron and Mashah hit the ground because they already know what's getting ready to happen. And then Yahusha and Nun trying to defend the bar that Yahuwah already spoken. Because if Yahuwah delights in us, that's what Caleb and Yahusha was saying. Yahusha, the continual seed. That's what you have to be, the continual seed. Salvation. You got to be forceful. You got to have wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and Koach. That's what Caleb has. He said, if Yahuwah delights in us, he will bring us into the land that he gives us. He'll give it to us. You got to stop talking the way you are. Silence. A land that flows with good fruits and milk and honey. Only do not rebel against Yahuwah. That's exactly what they're doing. They're getting ready to rebel. And do not fear the people of the land. They putting fear and doubt and error in their mind. They fearing things. He said, Yahuwah is greater than all gods. He said, we're like grasshoppers in their sight. The children of Anak, the Nephilim, didn't he destroy them in the beginning? So what makes you think he won't do it again? Error and doubt. They ain't recounting the Debar in their mind. Then he sent a flood on the earth, rain and snow. He saw it raining on them. And he destroyed them for a full 360 days. It rained. Man, it rained. And it was rain and snow. It was rain and snow for 360 days. Didn't he do that before to the Nephilim? So why are you afraid? He said 8 souls, circumcision. Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid of these giants? Why are you afraid of these people? Why are you afraid? How you say, stand up and show yourself a man. Ain't that what they're doing? Amazingly, he told Joshua, Yahusha, to stand up and show yourself and eat. Show yourself full of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Show yourself to be co-op. You see, what did Aaron and Mashal doing? They hitting the ground because there's supposed to be many dead bodies. Get on the ground. But Yahusha, they're standing up, showing themselves men, showing themselves a man, saying no. If Yahuwah delights in us, he'll give us this land. And do not fear the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Man, that's bread, but it's bread to the soil. That's bread. Well, we need to get that. We need to get something to eat. He said, that bread. They bread for us. We could eat them alive. We could eat them up. We could take them down. Their protection is removed from them, and Yahuwah is with us. They believe it. They believe it. They believe it. And then they're confirming their belief by what they speak. It's the time to keep silence and the time to speak. Do not fear them. He's saying, do not yireh them. Don't fear them. Fear Yahuwah. For there is no one greater than them who fear Yahuwah. Then all the congregation said to stone them with stone. Now they want to kill them. Because they just spoke to you the truth. They spoke to you who got error and doubt, who full of error of Satan, and you want to go back to Mizraim. Now you want to pick up stones to try to stone them because they told you the truth. Isn't that what Yahusha did? He said, now you want to stone me, a man who told you the truth. I'm Koach. I'm mighty. I told you the truth, and I did it in front of your congregation and your leader. Matter of fact, even Mashah, whom men esteem above all today, that people even declare themselves to be, And Aharon, he said, man, I do it in front of them. He's like, man, they throw the stone. He said, they want to kill him in front of them. Yahuwah's salvation, the attack dogs, the forcible dog, they want to kill. So which one are you? But the Kabbalah of Yahuwah appeared in the tent of the meeting of all the people of Yasharal. And Yahuwah said to Mashah, and guess what? Yahuwah goes straight to Mashah, the leader, just like he went to Adam. How long will this people despise me? Huh? How long will these people despise the truth? How long will they despise Yahuwah's salvation? The continual seed of life, the forcible Allahim. How long will they despise me? I'm their husband. I'm the person who's gonna bring him in. How long you gonna despise me? And how long will they not believe in me? How long you gonna continue to despise him and not believe in him? How long you gonna continue to despise him and not believe in him? In spite of all the signs that I have done for them, he done show you everything. He gave you all these signs and wonders, and gave you all these gifts, and fed you and gave you water. He said, man, y'all keep despising me. You don't believe in me. That's the same thing people do in households today. To the ish, to the head. That's the same thing people do to people to ish today, to Yahushua Mashiach. That's the same thing people do today. You don't even believe in him. You have his name. You say it. But then when things happen, how long are you going to despise me and not believe? He said, man, why are you doubting? He said, if he delight in us, he'll bring us right in there. Do not fear them. And they want to stone you for saying that. For telling you who you with and whose children you are. Examine the Shamayim, you sons of Yahuwah. You sons of the Shamayim. He said, guess what he says? He said, how long will they believe me in spite of all the signs that I have done for them? Guess what he said? I will strike them with pestilence. Huh? People, you want to know why you got all these things on you? You want to know why the world has all these stuff on them? You want to know why? Because the 10 tribes, the 10 other 10 who cause all the error and doubt. Guess what they did? He said, man, you causing pestilence on the world. You causing pestilence in your life, in your family, in your household. If you have this type of mindset, you cause pestilence in your whole household. And disinherit them. He said, I'm going to cause pestilence and disinherit you. How long are you going to despise me and not believe in me? And I will make you I will make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. He said, I'm going to make a nation of you greater and mightier than they. He said, I'm going to use your family. I'm going to use your wives and your children. And I'm going to make a nation greater than mine because you are meek. You hit the ground. He said, they're going to be many that you hit the ground because you already knew what time it was. You already knew. And Caleb and Yahusha, they showed themselves men. They stood up and they showed themselves men. And they quieted people's hussah. They're going to be many dead bodies. You see how fast you got people hit the ground who did what it's supposed to. You got hussah and silent. You got other men trying to silence the people. 2. It's only 2. It's only 4 people. So this is Luke 4:31. And he came to Capernaum in the Sea of Galilee, and he was teaching them on Shabbat. So he came into the city. And they were astonished at his teaching, for his word possessed authority. And in the congregation, the people, there was a man who had a ruach of unclean demon. What do you think all the people did you had that would bring error and doubt? We are going to become praying. We're going to let's choose a leader and go back to Mizraim and all these things. There's children of Anak creating all this error and doubt. The 10, the heads. What do you think they were doing? It had error and doubt. That's Satan. He said there was a man who had a ruach of an unclean demon. And he cried out with a loud voice, "Ha, what have we to do with you, Yahushua of Nazareth?" They picked up stones to try to kill him. Just like did Caleb and Yahushua. Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are. The Kudash one of Allahim. So that's what, when people start doing that, man, you need to hit the ground. Just like Mashah and Aaron, they hit the ground. But guess what? But just like Caleb and Yahushua standing up. And he getting ready to teach the people. And he not even the leader. of the congregation. He not even the leader. He not even the leader inside of this place, this Shabbat. He just came into the city and came into this place. And he not even the leader. And he teaching. And guess what happens? He not even the leader of the place, of the building, of the place, or the people. And he spoke. And guess what happened? He said, but Yahusha rebuked him, saying, be silent, Hussah. We are well able to take it. We are well able to take it. Their defenses are down. Yahuwah is with us. If he delight in us, he'll give us the land. Don't fear them not. Yahusha rebuked them, Hussah, be silent and come out of him. When you start speaking the truth, he said, there are going to be many dead bodies. I'm not going to pass by them no more. He said, man, they're going to be thrown everywhere. And when the demon had been thrown to the ground, thrown him down, man, they're going to be thrown everywhere. In their midst, why do you think Messiah and them hit the ground? He came out of him. Why do you think you got to hit the ground when people start doing stuff like this? Because you know there's a demon, a shadim, a Satan in your midst. You need to hit the ground. Having done him no harm. Why do you think Messiah and Aaron in that situation knew what to do? Get on the ground. There's a shadim, there's Satan in the midst. And Caleb and them, just like Yahusha, silence the people. And they wanted to kill him and put up stones. You want to kill me? A man who told you the truth? How come you don't understand what I say? In Yuchanan 8:44. He said, man, you are your father, the devil, Satan, error and doubt. All those people, error and doubt. You're your father, the Satan. And all them people who be bringing out these reports of a land today, and it's full of a desert saying it's flowing milk and honey, you a liar too. You are your father, Satan too. No, good and well, that place is not. It's been deserted. But he says what? He said, man, you are your father, Satan too. Guess what he says? And he came out of him, having done him no harm. He haven't done him no harm. Right? So this is Luke Oyah 16-12. It says, in these days he went out to the mountain to pray. And all night he continued in prayer to Yahuwah when the day came. What do you think those people did? And he came to the disciples and chose 12. When the people, what do you think they were doing all night? I mean, they were crying to Yahuwah, crying and weeping in the darkness all night. Guess what he said? When he came to his disciples, he chose them 12, whom he named. What do you think? Who he named Shalakim? He sent them. He sent them. He called them. They called apostles, but they can't. Shalakim. He sent them. Didn't know what Messiah did? He chose 12 to go spy out the land. Whose name was Peter, Koph, Andrew. They got Andrew, Peter, Koph, Andrew, brother Yehuda, Yehukanan, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas. It says what? James, son of Alphaeus, Simon, who was called Zealot, and Judas the son of James, and Judas Iscariot, who became a traitor. Why do you think all those people became a traitor? He said, it's some who eat with me. They're gonna betray me. Why do you think all those people had error and doubt? Those 10 who went up and they brought those lies. Right? They brought fear and doubt and error and doubt. Why do you think Satan was speaking through them and had them sowing the seed inside of the other people, and all the rest of them? And then the women gonna become prey. Oh, we're gonna die. We're gonna faint. They faint in their mind. Who did that? He said, "You're a traitor." But guess what he said? Because that's the same thing Messiah did. He chose 12. Right? It's Yuchanan 12:27-39. He said, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? That's what Yahuwah said. He said, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? How long will you despise me and not believe in me? I chose 12 to spy out the land. I told you I had sent my son, Yahusha is salvation. The forcible Ish, the mighty man, Hussah. How long will you not believe in me? There are going to be many dead bodies hit the ground. Dead bodies hit the ground. And Messiah and Aaron hit the ground. They understood. Yuchanan 27:36. Now is my soul troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. For this purpose I am come to this hour. Father, kabod your name. Then a voice came from Shamayim. I have kaboded and will kabod it again. The crowd that stood by and heard it said, it thundered. Others said, a malach has spoken to him. Yahusha answered, this voice came from not for your sake, has come for your sake, not mine. Why do you think Caleb and them was speaking? It was coming for their sake. Because they believed. Get what he said, now is the judgment of this world. Why do you think they were saying to the people? Because remember, the people like, man, I'm a lot. They were confused. They didn't know what was going on. Why do you think they wanted to stone Caleb? Because they didn't understand what he was saying. And Joshua, Yahusha. Why do you think they wanted to kill him? Because they didn't understand what he was saying. Now is the judgment of this world. I'm going to send a plague on them. I'm going to send pestilence among them. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? How long? Now will the ruler of this world be cast out. He's like, I'm going to cast you out. Get on the ground. Nasa. And come out of him. Yeah, I'm going to cast you out. And I, when I am lifted up from the earth, I will draw all people to myself. He said, when I'm lifted up, I'm going to draw all people to myself. Then you'll know. He said, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? He said this to show what kind of death that he was going to die. So the crowd answered, we have heard in the law that Mashiach remains forever. How can you say that the son of Adam must be lifted up? Who is the son of Adam? So Yahusha said to them, the light is among you for a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. The one who walks in darkness does not know where he was going. Let us choose a leader and take us back to Mizraim. You don't even know where you're going. You're walking in darkness. Our children are going to become a prey. Our wives, all these things, all these attributes are going to happen. Things are going to happen to us. We're going to die. The children of Anak, they strong, they powerful. Why? Because they don't have no belief in themselves that they co-op, that they powerful, that they children of light, that they the children of Yahuwah. They ain't got no wisdom, knowledge, understanding to establish a house, to bring themselves to a balance within. Satan throw their balance off. They made the ephah small and the shekel great. He said, you don't know where you're going. While you have the light, or believe in the light. Why do you think, don't be afraid of them? Why do you think Caleb and Yahusha said that? Don't be afraid of them. Fear Yahuwah. Believe in the light. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? Yahuwah says that to you. That you may become the sons of light. Believe. They weren't believing. They have unbelief. They have none. You believe. You won't believe. You believe that you can't win that battle. You believe you can't win. Matthew 15:21. For the name of Yahushua began to show for that time, because there's a time for everything, a time to keep silence and a time to teach, a time to sow, time to pluck up what is planted. There's a season for everything. For that time, Yahushua began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things from the elders and the chief priests and the scribes and be killed. And on the third day, will be raised. He said, I got to go do this thing. See, I'm well able to go take it. I'm well able to accomplish this. Selah. He said, I'm going to accomplish what I'm sent to do something. It's going to accomplish what he sent it to do. The bar that came out of his mouth. He said, I got to go to the chief priests, the elders, and the scribes and be killed and rise the third day. And guess what happened? And Qahalath took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, far be it from you, Aydah, that shall never happen to you. Error and doubt. Error and doubt. How do you think he knew? Error and doubt. But he turned and said to Qahalath, get behind me, Satan. Hassa, come out of him. You are a hindrance to me. What do you think them people were when they were saying all these things? And Caleb had to Hassa and silence the people and quiet them. He said, we'd be well able to go take it. He said, man, you of Satan. You of Satan. You Hassa. You don't want me to succeed. You don't want me to say luck. You don't want me to succeed. You don't want me to be fruitful and multiply. I know you are of Satan. You are a hindrance to me. Are you a hindrance to people in their life? Are you a hindrance when they have things they have to do? Shalak. Are you a hindrance to them? Then you are your father, Satan. You are Satan. When people have bad energy and they try to suck you dry and hinder you, you're your father, Satan. When you don't believe the bar, you don't believe the word that Yahuwah spoke, and he spoke that thing too. So they're going to get a lamb flowing and milk, and he said that before. Yahuwah ain't a liar either. But by people coming back and bringing slandering Yahuwah, guess what? You make him into a liar to other people, bringing up a bad report, and you slandering him to other people, and then those people slandering his name. And you create error and doubt about it, that person or the individual, right? And then guess what that does? Guess what it says? For you are not setting your mind on things of Yahuwah. That's what those people were not doing. Caleb said, fear them not. For if Yahuwah delights in us, he will give us everything we want. But if he doesn't delight in us, he will not. He will take it away. Yahuwah gives and Yahuwah takes away. But you focus on not things of Yahuwah, but on the things of man. Our wives and our children become a prey. You focusing on things of man. You uttering vain words in his presence. You focus on the giants, the children of Anger, the Nephilim, the children of Shemjazan, the 200. You focus on, there were giants in the earth in those days. I ain't scared of no giants, no Nephilim. I ain't scared of no demon, no Shadim. I ain't scared of no Asmodeus. How you say? Huzzah, silence. Get on the ground and come out of him. Why would you be scared of that? But on things of man, you scared. You focus on things of man. You ain't focused on the unseen world. You ain't focused on the highest Shamayim. Cough. That's what he told him. He said silence. He quieted him. Then Yahusha told his disciples. Then after that, after he rebuked them and quieted them, just like Caleb and Yahusha did the congregation, if anyone come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. That's why they didn't take up their cross daily and follow him. That's why they were weeping and crying all night. After they heard the report, they were just weeping and crying and scared. For whoever would save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. You see, it's not good to sit in a place and surround yourself with people who got error and doubt. It's not good to sit around places with people who create these things in your life. It's not good. Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. He said, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? He said, I'm going to send a plague among them and pestilence. Matthew 20:17. And Yahusha, as Yahusha was going to Jerusalem, he took the 12 aside, and on the way he said to them, on the way there, we are going up to Jerusalem. We will able to take it. And the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and the scribes, and will be condemned to death, and deliver him over to the Goyim, and to be mocked and flogged and crucified and killed. Why do you think they were picking up stones and stone him? Because you hate me because I'm telling you the truth? You hate me because I'm telling you the truth? And he will be raised on the third day. He said, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. And ain't nothing going to stop me. Ain't nothing going to stop me. No errors and doubts. Caleb, why do you think Caleb quieted the people? He'd be well able to take it because he had the spirit. He had a koach. He was mighty. He had force. He was powerful. And he believed it. He believed it within. He believed it in his heart. He believed it with every single fiber of his every atom, proton, electron, neuron, his quark, his mind, his molecule, his pineal gland, his pituitary. He believed it with his left and right brain. He believed it with all his axons, his dendrites, his blood vessel, white blood vessel, RNA, all the way down his hands and his feet. He believed it. He wasn't going to let nobody hinder him. That's why Caleb's quieted him. Huzzah. Why do you think Yahusha and them spoke to them at the bar and they wanted to stone him? You hate me because I tell you the truth? That you are of your father Satan. Right? This is your Ukinan 2:7-2. Now the Yahudim feast of Booths, Cog, was at hand. Keep this in mind. That's on its way. Kag Sukkah. So his brother said to him, leave here and go to Yehuda, Judea, that your disciples also may see the works you are doing. For no more works in secret if he seeks to be known openly. Yahushua wasn't trying to be known openly like that. If you do these things, show yourself to the world. That's what people try to do today. Show yourself to the world. For not even his brothers believed in him. Now, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? How long? How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? Yahushua said to them, my time has not yet come. Everything's a season. There's a time to wound. There's a time to kill too. It ain't time. But your time is always here. For those in the southern hemisphere, Yahushua, this is first day of spring for you. For those in the northern hemisphere, it's the harvest time. Some going into Pesach, some going into Sukkah. We're going into Sukkah. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify to it that its works are evil. That's why they wanted to stone Caleb and Yahushua. They were testifying. Don't fear them not. He was saying, just telling people don't fear is telling them that works are evil? Yes. For telling people about themselves and their error and doubt of the bar is evil to them? Yes, that's evil for them. Guess what he said? You go up to the feast. I'm not going up to this feast. For my time is not yet fully come. It ain't fully come. It ain't fully come, which means the time sequence ain't come. Because I got to die during Pesach, not during Sukkah. That's why. After saying this, he remained in Galilee. But after his brothers had gone up to the feast, he also went up, not publicly. He went up privately. He was not showing himself. He was lurking. He was just looking, listening, and he was not showing himself. And he didn't go up with him either, because they ain't believing him. It's like, man, you don't even believe in me. Why am I going to go up? He's like, I ain't going up with you. He said, you go up to the feast. All right, you'll see. Yochanan 10:25. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and you do not believe me. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? He said, it's not written in your Torah, I said you are Elohim, so what you despise, what you afraid of these Nephilim for? You are the children of you're supposed to be children who have not fallen, not like Shem, Jaza, and I destroyed them. And their children, why are you scared of the Anak? Who's like grasshoppers in their sight? Guess what he said? The works that I do in my Father's name bear witness about me. But you do not believe because you are not among my sheep. You don't believe. You're among my sheep. You're not my people. You're not among my sheep. And we're not talking about building no congregation, none of these places that you see today. We're talking about, he said, you don't believe me. You don't believe in me. You're not among my sheep, which means that you are not among his debar. You don't know it. My sheep hear my voice. They hear his voice. Do you hear Yahuwah's voice? You hear Yahushua's voice? In your mind, do you hear it? And I know them, and they follow me. We are well able to take Caleb. Man, he wasn't following y'all. Matter of fact, he wasn't following none of them people in that congregation. He wasn't following none of them people. He said, man, you follow me. He said, I ain't following them people. I ain't following none of these people that's around me. He said, I'm following Yahushua. We're well able to take it. He saw. Silence. To fear them not. Guess what he says? I give them eternal life. Why you think? Look at that. He said, I give you eternal life. Why you think he said, man, it's just like he said. And they brought the pomegranates and the grapes. They brought the evidence. And they still don't believe. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? And they will perish. No one will snatch them out of my hand. My Father has given them to me is greater than all. And no one will be able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. Amazingly, Yahusha's name, his name was Husha. Then Mashah called him Yahusha. Yah, salvation. I and my Father are one. and it's a continual seed of life. Husha, the son of Nun. Yahusha, the son of Nun. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? The Yahudim picked up stones again to stone him. Isn't that what they did to Yahusha and Caleb? Because he told them the truth. He told them the truth. He was Koach. He had wisdom and understanding. He told them the truth, and they wanted to stone him because he's telling them that you have error and doubt in you of your father Satan, and you want to go back to Mizraim. You want to go back to sorcerers and oppressing wizards. He said they want to pick up stone and stone. The same thing they did Caleb and Yahusha. Yahusha answered them. He's still talking. I have shown you many good works, many signs. How long do these people despise me and not believe in me? All these signs and wonders that I've shown them, that they've seen, and they still don't believe in me. He said, I'm going to send pestilence among them. Guess what he says? I have shown you many good works. Because that's what the good works going to the city of salvation. Which one of them are you going to stone me? You going to stone me for doing good things to you and telling you about eternal life? He said, man, you ain't my sheep. You ain't my sheep. My sheep hear my voice. Why you think Mashah and Aaron hit the ground? Why you think Caleb and them tore their robes and tore their garments? Oh, and were like in panic mode. They hear Yahuwah's voice. They heard the word. They heard the boy. It's a land flowing with milk and honey. It's a land flowing with fruits and pomegranates and figs and grapevines. Matter of fact, Yahuwah will give it to us if he delights in us. He said, fear them not. All we had to do is show up and fight. And he will do it. Bamidbar 14:39. And when Mashah told these words to all the people of Yashar, the people mourned greatly. Because Yahuwah said, I'm going to send a plague among you. Continuing on. He said, man, the people mourn greatly. He said, man, your children, he's like, man, y'all, you know what? And they rose early in the morning and went up to the heights of the hill country, saying, here we are. Because they were afraid to take the land. We here now. Now you say, we here. We will go up to the place that Yahuwah has promised, for we have sinned. You know what they say? We have sinned. Because they had error and doubt. They realized that they were guilty. Because Yahuwah said, now I'm going to punish you. He send you plagues and those children. Man, none of y'all. Man, if I'm going to visit all y'all sin. Because y'all had error and doubt and y'all followed Satan. Y'all want to go back to Mizraim. But Mashah said, why are you now transgressing the commandment of Yahuwah? Now, Yahuwah done gave you one commandment to go take it. And now you done changed the timeline. And now you want to go and do what you was previously supposed to do. He said, nah, you have to do it immediately. When he told you, but they didn't do it. So they changed the timeline. They changed the time sequence. Now it's a time for you to die. It's a time for you to go through suffering and the furnace of affliction. It's time for you to go through other things so you can actually do what he says when he commands the first time. He says, why are now you transgressing the commandment of Yahuwah? When that you will not succeed. Do not go up. Why? Because they didn't believe. He said, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? He said, do not go up, for Yahuwah is not among you. Why do you think Yahushua didn't go up to the feast with those brothers that didn't believe in him? Why do you think he didn't go up? He said, do not go up. Why do you think he didn't go up? Because Yahuwah ain't among you. He said, I and my Father are one. Yahuwah wasn't among them. Because they didn't believe in him. He said, I and my Father are one. If they don't believe in the Son, they don't believe in the Father. They don't believe in the Father, they don't believe in the Son. So therefore, being that he don't believe in him, Yahuwah is not among them. That's why he's not going with them. You know how many people go to these places, these festivals and feasts and all these things, whether they breaking bread together or living together or going to do things, and Yahuwah ain't even among them. Because they don't even believe in Yahushua Mashiach. He says, I ain't going up. He said, Yahuwah is not among you. Why do you think Yahushua ain't going? Why he came privately? He's like, man, I come privately. Lest you be struck down before your enemies. What do you mean? Lest you be struck down before your enemies. The people that at the feast were the enemies. That's why Yahushua ain't go up. He said, those are my enemies. He said, my time is not yet. Because if I show up this feast, they're going to end up killing me during Sukkah. But even though he still showed up in this feast, when they tried to arrest him when he showed up, when he finally appeared, he ran and he disappeared out of their sight. He said, lest you be struck down, they're going to kill you. Because that's what those people are going to do. The Nephilim giants. The Nephilim giant, he said, man, they're going to kill you. You're going to go up, they're going to kill you. Let's keep that in mind. So this is Yukonai 18:3. So Judas, Yehuda, having procured a band of soldiers and some officers from the chief priests and the scribes and the Pharisees, went there with lanterns and torches and weapons. And then Yahusha, knowing all that would happen to him, came forward and said to them, whom do you seek? Who are you seeking? They answered him, Yahusha of Nazareth. Yahusha said, I am he. I'm well able to take it. You go up at once. Because his time is now. It's my time. It was time for Caleb and them to take the land, but they didn't want it. They had error and doubt. He said, how long do people despise me and believe in me? But not Yahusha. He believed, and he ain't despised his father's instructions. He said, I'm here. And Yehuda, who betrayed him, traitor, error and doubt, was standing with him, with them. When all those people standing together, slandering Yahuwah's word, they were all standing together, saying what was going to happen to errors and doubts, saying the people, they were in fear, crying in darkness all night. And Caleb said, no, don't fear them not. Why do you think Yahushua ain't fearing them? Fear them not. For if Yahuwah delight in us, he'll give it to us. When Yahushua said to them, I am he, they drew back and fell to the ground. There'll be many dead bodies. Hit the ground. Hussah, silence. Why do you think Moshe and Aaron hit the ground? They fell to the ground. He said, when my enemies, what he said? When my enemy, he said, Yahuwah is my light and my salvation. ChayParach. Yahuwah is my light and salvation. Who shall I fear? He said, when my enemies come to assail me, eat on my flesh, it's they who stumble and fall. Hit the ground. Hussah. Get on the ground. And eat my, they come with what? They come to eat my flesh, and then with the Anak and the children. And this is Qahalath. That was Psalms 27. Yeah, when they come to eat my flesh, it is they who stumble and fall. Even with the children of Anak, he said, man, they eat flesh. They devour its inhabitants. What do you think Yehuda and Judas represents here? They're the children of Anak. They're the Nephilim. Yahushua said, if you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you don't have no life in you. You don't have a continual seed and you have no life. Yahuwah's salvation. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? So he asked them again, whom do you seek? And they said, Yahusha of Nazareth. Yahushua answered, I told you that I am he. I ain't got no error and doubts. At the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word be established. I said it twice. If you seek me, let these men go. This was fulfilled. What do you mean, let them go? Let them go. This was fulfilled of the bar was spoken. Of those whom you gave me, I have lost not one. He said, why you don't understand what I say? You say, you're not my sheep. He said, I ain't lose Caleb. I ain't lose Yahusha. Salvation. I ain't lose them, Yahusha the son of Nun. I ain't lose Caleb, the forcible dog. This was to fulfill the word that has spoken. Of those whom you gave me, I have lost none. Then Peter, having a sword, drew it and struck the high Kahan's servant and cut off his right ear. He cut off that right ear. Cut it right off. He cut off his right ear. The servant's name was Malchus. So Yahusha said to Kaf, put your sword in your sheath. He said, put it in your sheath. Shall I not drink the cup that my father has given me? I got to drink it. Why? Because you got people with error and doubt. You got people crying all night, weeping because of evil reports and error and doubt that people don't believe because they're afraid of the children of Anak. You don't see Yahusha? He said, man, I'm well able to. I ain't scared of these children of Anak and come to eat my flesh. It's they who stumble and fall. Just like in the Psalms 27. You can go read it. It's they who going to fumble and fall. You was the stronghold of my life. Yahuwah or Yasha, Yadeh Yahuwah, ChayParach. He said, what? You are the one who will stumble and fall. when my enemies come, right? He said, what? He said, I got to drink it because he has to. Aleph Shamuel 18:24. Yeah. Now, Daud was sitting between two gates. He was sitting in between two gates. And the watchman went up on the roof gate by the wall. And when he lifted up his eyes, he looked. He saw a man running alone. He said, all you gave me, I lost none. He said, let these people go. He said, Caleb said, we go up at once. There's only one person who stood up and said, I'll go up at once. I'll take this thing. He said, we were well able to take it. He said, man, I saw a man running alone. There's only one person who did it. The watchman called out and told the king Malak and the king said, and Malak said, if he is alone, there is news in his mouth. Isn't that what they came to spy out the land? They went to spy out the land, but what they brought back? They brought back error and doubt, news and fear, and scared of the giants, and scared of the Nephilim, scared of the children at long neck Anaks. They scared. And he drew near and near. The watchman saw another man running. So he saw one man running, and the watchman called to the gate and said, see, another man is running along. How many times you said, I am he? He said it twice. He said it twice. He said, man, I saw Daud was sitting in between two gates. And the watchman went up to the roof, the gate wall, right? And he says, and he also brings good news. And the watchman said, I think the running of the first is like the running of Ahinamaz, the son of Zadok, because the son can do what his father do. Whatever the son do, the father do, the son does likewise. And the Malak said, he is a good man. He a good man. He said, let's go see the land and see if it's any. He told him to go spy the land and see if it's good or bad. He like, man, this is a good man. He said, this is a good man. The other one was just running. And he said, he got news. The other person was running. He said, man, that's a good man. He said, man, I told you I am he. I said it twice. I already told you. The man was running alone. He said, this night, you all gonna forsake me. I'm running alone. That's what he told him after they took Pesach. He said, one betrayer. He said, you all gonna forsake me tonight. And Kafir said, I'll follow you everywhere you go. He said, man, no, you deny me 3 times. And the king said, he is a good man. And guess what he says? And comes with good news. Huh? How beautiful are the feet of those who bring that glad tidings and good news. He come with old news, man. He come with good news, man. What's good news? Man, it's just like he said, land falling with milk and honey, pomegranates, grapes. Man, we be well able to overcome it. Man, that's good news. Man, fear them not. That's good news. You coming to stone me? I'll show you many signs and wonders, but yet you coming to stone me? How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? How long? It's Matthew 27, 32 through 50. It says, and when they had crucified him, they divided his garments among them, casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch over him. And over his head they put his charge against them and read, this is Yahusha, the Malach of the Yahudim. Then 2 robbers who were crucified with him, one on the right hand and one on the left, and those who passed by, they rotted him. So he was crucified with 2 thieves, one on the right hand, one on the left. When they brought the grapevine from the land, when they came to spy the land, it was in between 2 people. 2 men. It was in between 2 men. Why do you think he was in between 2 thieves? Why do you think he said, man, I saw Daud sitting in between 2 gates. I saw him sitting between 2 gates. He said, man, one running, man, he got news. The other one, man, he a good man. He got good news. Let's see. And says, you would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days? Save yourself. If you are the son of Yahuwah, come down from the cross. So also the chief priests and the scribes and the elders mocked him, saying, he saved others, he cannot save himself. He Malach Yasharal. So he's Yasharal and Yehuda. So you got Yehuda and you got Yasharal. All the people, the tribes, they all mocking him and killing him and stoning him. They want to stone him. They want to kill him. Let him come down from the cross and we will believe him. You don't have to kill somebody literally. You can do it you can do it and have somebody else do it. You're still responsible. And he saved others. He cannot save himself. He Malach Yasharal. Let him come down from the cross and we will believe him. You would say, we will believe him then. He trusts in Yahuwah. Let Elohim deliver him now. If he desires him. Isn't that what Caleb did? He was trusting in Yahuwah with all his heart. Isn't that what Yahusha did? He's like, man, look, we able to do it. They were speaking 2 or 3 witnesses. Matter of fact, when Yahusha sent out the disciples by twos, he said, man, if they don't hear what you say, he said, dust your feet off. He said, it'd be more tolerable than Sodom and Gomorrah. And guess what happened after that? He said, how long will these people despise me and not believe in me? And he sent plagues among them. He said, man, all of them, I'm going to take them all out. I'm going to kill all of them. It says, and the robbers who crucified him reviled in the same way. They all talked too. But it says, now from the 6th hour there was darkness over the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Yahusha cried out. And when there's darkness on the land, they were darkness. They were weeping and crying all night after they brought the bad report of the land. The people were in their tents all night. And Yahusha cried out, and they cried with a loud voice too. In Numbers chapter 13, Bamidbar 13. And saying, Aliyah, Lama Sabbathana, that is, my Elohim, why hast thou forsaken me? Man, he has news in his mouth. He running alone. And some of the bystanders hearing it said, this man is calling for Aliyah. And one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with sour wine. Man, it's just like grape. Man, it's got grapes, it got pomegranate, it got sweet pomegranate wine, it got all that. Matter of fact, it got figs. But guess what they said? He said, man, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. He said, man, it's bread, man, it's food there. But guess what they do? They give him sour wine. And one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with sour wine and put it in a reed and gave it to him to drink. But the other said, wait, let's see whether Eliyahu will come and save him. And Yahusha cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up the Ruach. He gave up the spirit. He gave up the Ruach for you. People filled with error and doubt who didn't believe in him, who despised him. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? He said, I'll give you salvation. Yahuwah, salvation. Yahusha, salvation. Your Mashah call him Yahusha. Yah is salvation, the continual seed of life. The descendant. The son can do what his father do. And what the father do, the son does likewise. I'm a continual seed of life. It's a continual seed. You are well able to take it, right? He said he had a different ruach, right? This is Yochanan 15:1. I am the true vine. Why do you think they had him in between 2 men? They had him in between 2 men. They had him in between 2 men, the vine. He said, every branch of me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. Why do you think he was saying, I'm going to send a plague among the people and I'm going to destroy them? Why? That branch was, they brought it back a fruitful vine, but the branch that he was looking at, it was bringing back, it was yielding error and doubt and stoning and killing. They wanted to stone and kill because people telling the truth. He said, I'm taking it away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes. Why do you think he pruned all those people away from Yasharah? Why do you think he pruned them all the way down to the children? That they may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the bar that I have spoken to you. Doesn't our wisdom come down like water? As rain and snow come down from Shamayim, so is the bar that goes out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void. It's going to accomplish everything I sent it to do. Say lock. It's going to accomplish it. It's going to, whatever I shalak it to do, it's going to do it. Already you are clean because of the bar that I have spoken to you. Abide in me and I in you. Let it receive it in your thoughts. Receive it in your heart. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine. Why do you think those people were bearing all their bad fruit? Because they weren't abiding in the vine. Why do you think they were lying and bringing up these false reports and saying all these slander? Because they weren't abiding in the vine. Why do you think they were bringing all this slander? Why do you think people do it today? Because they weren't abiding in the vine. That's the fruit they bear. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. He said, you don't know this. You ain't in my sheep. You got to abide in the bar. That's why Caleb and Yahusha was telling them about the bar. I am the vine. You are the branches. You are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he is the one that bears much fruit. Why do you think they were? Caleb was, man. He like, man, look at here. Look at all this fruit. Man, it's a time of the first ripe grapes. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Why do you think Caleb trusted in Yahuwah? He said, if Yahuwah delight in us, he would give us a land. Their defenses down. Matter of fact, he said, fear them not. Because without Yahuwah, you can do nothing. And they ain't believing no more. That's why they couldn't. That's why they felt like they couldn't do nothing. Because they don't believe in him. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch that withers. And the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. That's all they're used for. If you abide in me, and my the bar abides in you, Caleb and Yahusha. That's why they were speaking it. Why you think Moshe and Aaron hit the ground? You had to have some people hit the ground, come out of them. But then you have some who had stood out like Yahusha did and say, the bar is in me. Ask whatever you want, and it will be done for you. That's all they had to do. But they didn't. They didn't. Yeshayahu 40, 18 through 26. To whom then will you liken Elohim? Who you going to liken him to? Or what likeness compare him? You going to compare him to something? An idol? You going to compare him to an idol? A figurine, something you made out of wood and stone? The one who made the highest Shamayim, who could form every proton, electron, molecule, quark, photon, electron, who control the very bacteria that you see? The one who sends rain and snow from the highest Shamayim, control and master of spirits? You going to compare him to an idol? A craftsman in cash? You going to compare him to something that somebody made with a hand? A building, a car, an automobile, an electric car. You going to compare him to that? You going to compare him to an electrical device, a cell phone? You going to compare him to a bunch of things that you have on earth that you people made with their hands? Necklaces and bracelets and gold and all these things and mirrors? He said, and a goldsmith overlays with gold? You going to do that and cast it in the silver chains? That's what you going to compare him to? A bunch of chains and gold? He who is too impoverished for an offering chooses wood that will not rot. So he seeks a skillful craftsman to set up an idol that will not move. Some people do it in gold. Some people do it in wood because they can't afford it. Do you not know? Do you not fear? Do you not know? How can you understand what I'm saying? That's why Caleb was still the people and told them to the bar. And they had error and doubts and they wanted to stone him. Do you not know? Do you not hear? Do you not hear this? Do you not shema? He that have an ear, let him hear. Has it not been told you from the beginning? From Bereshith? From the beginning? The wonderful works of Yahuwah, 6 days, Shishiyun. Have you not understood from the foundation of the earth? Have you not understood this from the foundation of the earth? Why? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, above the kug, above the circle, above the sphere of the 360 degrees. 360. Because it's a 9. The circle of the kug of the earth. He sits above the kug of the earth, his footstool. And its inhabitants are like grasshoppers. We saw the children of Anak. They were like grasshoppers. And you fearing people who are lower than him. And you're like a grasshopper in his sight. How about you fear the one who sits in the highest Shamayim and his Ben Yahusha, instead of fearing the fallen children, the Nephilim, the children of offspring of some Jazan the 200 who had offspring in the evil spirits, and the children and their DNA and their offspring? Why are you fearing them and making yourself look like grasshoppers under them when you are with the one who the earth is like grasshoppers to him? If Yahuwah delight in us, he give us a land. Fear them not. Why are you fearing the people? We're like grasshoppers in their sight. Why are you scared of them? Why are you scared of these people? You shouldn't be. Guess what he said? Who stretches out the Shamayim, the Shabba'i Shamayim? Can you stretch out the Shabba'i Shamayim? Can you stretch out? People can't even get to the first Shamayim without help, without some escort. You go all the way, and the first Shamayim going to pass away. All the way to the 7 Shammai ain't past that, and you scared of these people? You know nothing about them. Who stretch out the Shammai like a curtain and spreads them out like a tent to dwell in it? Who brings princes to nothing? Who bring all them kings and rulers, the children of Anak, to nothing? And makes rulers of the earth as emptiness? He bring all these people to nothing. And you afraid? Fear them not. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? Yahusha still wondering. Scarcely are they planted. Isn't it time to plant? And scarcely sown. It's a time to sow. Scarcely are their stem taking root in the earth. It's a time for them for the roots to grow. When he blows on them, it's a time for seasonal changes. It's a time for storms. They wither. It's a time for cold, and it's time for hot. And the tempest carries them off like stubble. It's time for the storms and the earthquakes and the vapor of smokes and the hurricanes and the storms and the tempests and Yahuwah to visit you. To whom will you compare me? Man, nothing compares to him. Who are you going to compare him to? You going to compare him to a hurricane, a storm, or earthquake that blows? Man, he said, man, why are you even afraid of these grasshoppers in my sight? The children of Anak like grasshoppers in Yahuwah's sight. And you scared, you like, we're grasshoppers in their sight. Now Yahuwah like, man, they're like grasshoppers in my sight. To whom will you compare me, that I should be like him? Will you want me to be like these children of Anak? Say the Qahalath one, lift up your eyes on high. Look up. Stop looking at the people on earth. Stop looking at these men, these teachers, these evangelists, these Nabi'im, these giants, these kings, these rulers, and all these people, these Nephilim, these people, and all these people. Stop looking at them. Lift up your eyes on high. Look up and see. Look up and see. Who created these? Why do you think he said, how long would they believe in me? What were Yahushua doing on the stake, on totality, in between the two thieves, or between the two men who brought him on the vine branch, who was between the two gates? What was he doing? What was he doing? And amazingly, the two thieves, right? He said one brought news, one brought good news. He said, man, you know what? This man he innocent. He ain't did nothing. It's like we've just read in Shemuel when David was sitting with the watchman. He said he ain't did nothing. We are well up here for our wrong. He said, Yahushua, remember me in paradise. He said, this day you'll be with me in paradise. One had brought news, and one brought good news. To whom will you liken to compare me, that I should be like him? It says the Qahalath one, lift up your eyes on the high, and who created these? Look up. He said, my servant will be the approved. He be exalted and very high. He was up, and they saw him. They saw him on high. They saw him riding on the wings of the wind. They saw him up there, and they watched him too, and they didn't even believe. He said, let him come down from the cross and you believe. You think Yahuwah coming down from his throne? That's the last thing you want, grasshoppers, right? He said, nah, just look at me. How long will these people despise me and believe in me? How long? He said, look at him. I created all this. This Bemidbar, Numbers 14:20-24. Then Yahushua said, I have pardoned according to your word. He said, this is what Yahuwah said. But truly, as I live, and as the earth shall be filled with my kabod, filled with the kabod of Yahuwah, none of the men whom have seen my kabod and my signs that I did in Mizraim, he said, I did done many signs and wonders among you, and you would seek to stone me? Which one of them you stone me for? Why are you trying to stone? Why do you think Yahushua like? Why are you trying to stone me? Why do you think Caleb and them like, you finna stone us for telling you the truth? That's what you want to do? You want to pick up stones to kill me? As I live, and as the earth shall be filled with kabod of Yahuwah, none of the men whom you have seen my kabod and my signs that I did in Mizraim and in the wilderness, and yet have put me to the test these 10 times. Everybody has a breaking point. And have not obeyed my voice. My sheep hear my voice. He said, but my servants, they hear my voice. He said, they follow me. Shall see the land that I swore to give to their fathers. None of them going to see it. So that means, and none of those who despise me shall see it, but my servant Caleb, the forcible dog. because he has a different spirit, ruach, and has followed me fully. He has a different ruach, which means that if Caleb had a different ruach in the people, they had demons. They had spirits, and spirits of Satan. Why do you think they wanted to slay him? Why do you think they wanted to slay Caleb? Because he had a different spirit than them. He has a different ruach than what they got. So their spirit wanted to kill that spirit. He has a different one. I have a different one. And I will bring into the land in which he went, and his descendants shall possess it. Because he said, man, we were well able to take this. He said, we well able to take it. He hussah, silence, get on the ground. Isn't that what Mashah did and all them? How come he say nothing about Mashah? He said, Mashah, I thought y'all gonna see the land. I thought Harun gonna see the land. He like, nah, Caleb. He stood up and he said, silence, get on the ground. Come out of him. Come out of them. We well able to take it. Don't fear them not. Numbers 14:26 through 31. And Yahuwah spoke to Mashah and Aaron, saying, how long shall this wicked congregation grumble against me? That's what people do. They brought it, the heads, then the people, then the other people, then the spreads, and then guess what? Why y'all talking about me? My debar. You slandering my debar. I already spoke to the debar. Why are you slandering it? I have heard the grumblings of this people of Yasharal, which they grumble against me. Say to them, as I live, declares Yahuwah, what you have said in my hearing, I will do to you. Huh? I told you, don't speak bold words against Yahuwah. Don't you speak bold words against him. Don't you sow them seeds in his head. He been hearing that stuff 10 times. Like he heard it all up until this point, and he heard it go in his mind, and it's fully come. It's the time of grapes. It's bearing fruit. And now it's time to you to reap what you sowed in Yahuwah's mind by speaking against his debar. It's time for you to reap what you sowed. Guess what he said? Your dead bodies shall fall in the wilderness. He's already spoken, and there's nothing nobody can do about it. And all of your number listed in the census from 20 years old and upward. So he don't want nobody from 20 years old and up. Now you see why. All those people, those men, guess what? And those women, guess what happened? All of them are corrupt. And they said some things, and they were saying things 10 times over and over again in his head. And now those seeds are now sprung up in his mind, and now I have to destroy it. He said, I have to prune my garden. I have to prune all my garden. That includes his mind, but also people. I got to prune it to do what? To bring my mind to peace again. Shalom, because I am not at peace. That's why. There's a time there's a time for war, and there's a time for shalom. There's a time for embracing, there's a time for refraining from embracing. There's a time to keep silence, which those people should have done. And there's a time to speak, but they didn't. Only Caleb and Yahusha did. And guess what it says? Not one shall come into the land where I swore that I would make you dwell, except Caleb, the son of Yefunah, and Yahusha, the son of Nun. How come Mashah and Aaron ain't coming in? They hit the ground too. They hit the ground, man. They were good. They hit the ground. Matter of fact, he said, come out of all that, which means they did some stuff too. He said, only Caleb and Joshua. Yahusha going to enter in. Did Mashah into the land? No, he didn't even see it. Did Aharon see the land? No, he didn't even see it. But your little ones, hold on now. But your little ones, whom you said will become a prey, I will bring in. You got to care for them. You got to love them. They come into your care. Exactly. Those children that came into your care that you did not, when I first was talking, you weren't doing anything. But Caleb and Yahusha, you know what they did? They said, hussah, silence, come out of him. come out of them. Come out of the people. Do you understand what type of spirit you got? Caleb had a different spirit, though. Different ruach. He followed him fully. And he wasn't even ahead of it. He wasn't even over them people. He wasn't even over those people. Yahushua wasn't even over that place he went to in Capernaum. He just walked in. He was teaching. He said, Hassai, what have we to do with you? Exactly. He said, my sheep hear my voice. They follow me. But your little ones, whom you said you would become a prey, your little ones, I will bring in, boys, and they shall know the land that you have rejected. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me? How long will they reject me? How long will they reject me? How long will they despise me? You have rejected. How long will you despise me and reject it and not believe in me? How long? From 20 years old and upward. You all are too grown. That's what Satan do. Satan puts so many thoughts into you, create error and doubt and make you think you so grown. Think you so righteous, so right. I know him. I know who he is. I know the bar. I know the word. I know the Yahuwah. I know Yahushua, right? And then he said, you don't even believe in me. Make you think you so grown, and you end up. He said, but your little ones, whom you have said shall become a prey, I will bring in. He said, oh, your little ones, right? This is Tahalim Psalms 50:10. Oh, come, oh children, listen to me. Shema. Have you not heard? Have you not heard that Yahuwah done all these things? What you going to compare me to? Listen to me, and I will teach you the fear of Yahuwah. What man is there who desires life and love many days, that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil, your raw. What they were doing, they were talking. They were sowing seeds in his mind. And your lips from speaking deceit. They were speaking deceit. They were speaking raw. Man, the children of Anak. They got cities walled and built. And we saw the children of Anak. They devoured their people. Our children have become a prey. We brought us out here to die. We didn't even go into the wilderness to die. We just choose a leader and take us back to Mizraim. Keep your tongue from rod and your lips from speaking deceit. He's talking to the little ones. You know, the ones you say are going to be a prey. He's talking to children. Little ones. Sure, I'm a little one. I don't know nothing. Hey, they doubt. They doubting. He said, little children, listen to me. Turn away from raw and do good. I ain't doing that. Good works. Do good to all men. Do good to everybody. Ta'ub. The good and the evil. The ungrateful and grateful. Shalom. Get what he said. Seek peace and pursue it. There's a time for peace. He said, pursue shalom. Peace with who? The one that sits in the highest Shamayim, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahushua Mashiach. Peace is do what your father says. Don't sow no seed in his head and say things and get slandered his word, what he said. Don't do it. You sow that seed in his head, it's coming back around. That thing gonna spring up. The eyes of Yahuwah toward the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. But the face of Yahuwah is against those who do evil, who speak evil, who live raw, to cut off the memory of them from the earth. None of the people that you said from 20 years up going to see the land. Even you, Mashah and Aaron. I mean, if you ain't fearing that, I don't know why. You should. Mashah and Aaron didn't even get in. You didn't even get to see it. But he said, my little ones will. The children will. Aleph Kav 1:22-2. Like newborn infants, long for the pure spiritual milk. That by it you may grow up into salvation. I ain't grow. He said, I don't you grow up. You gotta grow up. Don't get too old. Don't get too grown. Don't get too grown. If indeed you have tasted that Yahuwah is good, you tasted it. Does not the ear taste of the bar? You heard it. People say, how long I've been hearing it? For your whole life? You heard it. You heard it. You heard what it said. And you tasted it as good too. But now you got error and doubt. Now you slandering Yahuwah at the bar when it's spoken. Oh. Here we are. We're gonna go up now. He said, Yahuwah ain't going up. He ain't with you. You don't even go up. You're gonna die for your enemies. You would say, why Yahushua had to come? Why you think he ain't go with them? He said, man, you don't even believe in me. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me and reject the land that I promised them? But he said, your little one's going to get in. Matthew 18:2. And calling to him a child, he put them in the midst of them and said, truly I say to you, unless you turn and become like children, you will never enter the Malkuth of Shamayim. So you got to become like a child. Because he said the people from 20 years up, they're not going to get in. You're not going to see the Malkuth of Shamayim. You're not going to see it. You got to become like an infant baby, a child. Because the little ones are going to enter in. Whoever humbles himself like this child is the greatest in the Malkuth of Shamayim. Why do you think Caleb and them were talking up the bar? They were like children. He believed. Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me. Why do you think they didn't receive what Caleb and Yahushua said? But whoever causes one of these little ones to believe in me to sin, why do you think those 10 men, those 10 leaders, those 10 heads of those tribes, why do you think they cause those people to sin? They caused all of them to start complaining and mumbling and grumbling. They started to complain. They started to say things out of their mouth. They started to get them to doubt and have error and doubt. They started to get those people to start lying to themselves. Start doubting Yahuwah, and they wanted to go back into Mizraim. He said, they ain't getting in. You causing people to sin. He said, it will be better for them that a great millstone be fastened around them, they'd be drowned in the depths of the sea. Why do you think Moshe and Aaron didn't see the land? Why do you think those people didn't see the land? You caused all these people to sin. Why do you think Balaam had to die? He was causing people to sin. Listen to me, children, and I will teach you about the fear of Yahuwah. Mark 9:36. And he took a child and put them in the midst. And taking them in his arms, he said to them, whosoever receives one such child in my name receives me. And whosoever receives me receives not me, but he who sent me. He who sent me. Mark 10:13. And they were bringing children to him that he might touch them. And the disciples rebuked them. They rebuked the children. Man. But when Yahushua saw it, he was indignant and said to them, let the children come to me, and do not hinder them. Those who humble themselves like a child. For such belongs the Malkuth of Yahuwah. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the Malkuth of Yahuwah like a child shall not enter it. You ain't going to see the land. You ain't going to see New Jerusalem, Kadashah Jerusalem, coming down from Shamayim, and they ain't going to be prepared for you. The Jerusalem above. Except that man be born from above, you cannot see the Malkuth. You got to be Yahuwah's child. Yahuwah, like a child, shall not enter it. Why do you think? Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. And in all your ways acknowledge him. And he will make straight your paths. No human being. He said he gonna do that. And guess what he said? Once the bar enter in, he's like, he gonna make straight your path. Why do you think Caleb, like, we will able to say, why do you think Yahushua and them, like, no, fear these people? Yahushua and Caleb was speaking. And he took them in his arms and baraked them and laying his hands on them. Has Yahuwah touched you yet, children? He touched me. He touched me. Yuchanan 10:8. And all who came before me are thieves and robbers. Why do you think he said that? But the sheep did not listen to them. Why do you think Caleb and them didn't listen to them? Why do you think Caleb and Yahushua didn't listen to none of them? They were thieves and robbers. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved. Only children come in to see him. He only taking children. And will go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Why do they want to pick up stones and stone Caleb and Yahusha? Mashah and them, Aaron, when they hit the ground, they weren't saying nothing. He said, steal, kill, and destroy. That's what you think they were doing. They come to destroy Caleb and Yahusha for telling them the truth. I came that you might have life. Yahuwah, what do you say? Mashah changed Husha to Yahusha. Yahusha Mashiach. Yahusha, the son of Nun. Yah's salvation, the continual seed of life in his posterity, who descended out from Nun. The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, and I've come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Well, he said, eat my flesh and drink my blood, you have no life in you. You Nephilim. Children of Anak. You got to eat his flesh and drink his blood, and you better become like children to see the Malkut. People of error and doubt, who didn't follow Yahuwah holy, who didn't follow him with truth and light in his debar. He said, what? You got to eat my flesh and drink my blood and become like children, and you ain't going to have no life in you. Yahusha said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. Why do you think Yahusha laid down his life? They don't even believe me. How long would they despise me and not believe in me? I did many signs among them, and they still don't believe me. How long would they despise me and not believe in me? I'm going to send plague among them. I'm going to take them through the furnace of affliction. For they have rejected the land. I'm not bringing nobody from 20 years and up. You too grown in your mind. You got to become like a child, your inner child, your umbilical cord. He said, it'd be healing to your shore. Trust in your heart, lean not to your own understanding. And he would make straight your path. It'd be healing to your shore and refreshment to your bones. Healing to your umbilical cord. He said, I'm not taking nobody unless they become like a child. In my sight, in my presence. Shamayim is throne, and the cougar of the earth is my footstool. The circle of the earth is my footstool. What house will you build for me? And where is the place of my dwelling? Know ye not that your body is the temple, the Mishkan, the Mikdash, the Ahal, the tent, the palace, the Bayith of Yahuwah? What house will you build for my ephah? So you can be balanced within. The good shepherd lays on his life for the sheep. That's what Yahusha was. Sirach 47:7. In the time of Mashah, also, he did a work of mercy. He and Caleb, the son of Yefuneh, in that day withstood the congregation. Who was he and Caleb? That's Husha, the son of Nun, Yahusha. They withstood the congregation. They withstood them people and withheld the people from sin. And they appeased the wicked murmuring. They started appeasing that murmuring they were doing by the debar. That's the only way you can do it. By the debar. Sirach 46:9. Yahuwah gave strength unto Caleb, which remained with him to his old age. So that he entered upon the high place. He said, man, Caleb going to get in. He followed me. Let me show you something. It said he remained in the high places of the land, and his seed obtained an heritage. I don't have it in here, 49:6, but he said what? So they will know that it's good to follow Yahuwah. I'll put it back in here, right? So they'll know that it's good to follow Yahuwah. That's why he did it. In his old age, Mashalit 22:5, train up a child in the way he should go, because he ain't only taking children. They got to be trained. Where they going? They going to see the Jerusalem coming from the highest, from the Shamayim, from the above the first Shamayim. It's coming down from there. As a bride adorned for the husband. The Jerusalem above. He said, man, that land, man, that place is beautiful. And it's only going to be for children. Even he who is old, he said, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Why do you think Caleb didn't? Humble yourself like a child. Why do you think he humbled himself? Why do you think he did it? This is Yeshayahu 53:1. Who has believed what he has heard from us? How long will these people despise me and not believe in me and reject me? And to whom will the arm of Yahuwah be revealed? For he grew up before him like a young plant. Man, he's just like a child. Desire the sincere milk of the word, you may grow thereby. And like a root out of the dry ground. Right, he had very rooted. He has no form of majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. Why do you think Caleb and Yahusha desired him? But then you had the people, the heads, and all Mashai and Aaron, all these people, he said he had no beauty that we should desire him. He said, Mashai wrote about me. Why do you think all the stuff that you see, he said he wrote about me? Right, you think about all the books and things that were taken from them, and all the things that were given to them all the way from Adam, from Canuk, from Methuselah, all the things written down from those times, all the way to Nuach, passed down through Shem, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, all the way through the lineage, through the family, and then given to the people in Mizraim. And then Yahuwah has to come right back and restore them their words again. Why? Because he forgot. And then you see them going down in the wilderness, and they forget, and they have error and doubts. And you see all these attributes. He said, how long will these people not believe in me? How long will these people reject me? How long will these people not believe in me and despise me? Guess what it says? He was despised. Who do you think Yahushua was despised? He'd pick up stones and kill him. He was rejected by men. Why do you think they were rejected by men? Why do you think they wanted to stone him? Why do you think that his brothers didn't even believe in him? And he wasn't even among them. Why do you think he ain't going to be among them? He didn't even believe in him. They rejected him. A man of sorrows acquainted with grief. Why do you think Caleb and Yahushua tore their garments? Because they didn't believe. As one from men will hide their faces. Why do you think they did that? Why do you think Aaron and them hit the ground and covered their faces on the ground? He was despised and we esteemed him not. Why do you think they despised him? How long will these people not believe in me and despise me? I showed them many signs and wonders. I and my Father are one. I showed them many signs and they don't even believe in me. And we esteemed him not. They didn't even look at him. Like, man, if Yahuwah delight in us, he'll give us a land. It's just like he said. Surely he has borne our griefs. He did. Why do you think why do you think he cried out the ninth hour while the men were crying in the tents all night in darkness? Yet we esteemed him not, stricken, smitten of Yahuwah, afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. Why do you think he would pierce him in the side after the ninth hour? They said, you be a Malach Yehuda. They put a mock the Malach Yehuda, or the Malach Yasharal come down. They have not rejected you, Shamuel. They rejected me from being Malach over them. Well, how long these people will despise me and not believe in me? How long will they reject me? He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us shalom. There's a time for war and a time for peace. And with his wounds, we are healed. And we, like sheep, have gone astray. Why do you think he said? He said, my sheep didn't listen to them. My sheep hear my voice. They follow me. He said, I'm the good shepherd who laid down his life. He said, my sheep ain't listening to them. Why do you think Caleb ain't listening to them people? We have turned every one to his own way. Why do you think they did? What do you think all those people did? Every one of them turned to their own way. He said, the only people that are going to get in is Caleb and Yahusha. And the ones that are younger than 20. Man, he said, man, how old are you? Man, I'm like 8. Man, you about 19. No. I'm only 8. Maybe 6. If you want to count cells when they regenerate themselves every 7 years. Nope. And we are like sheep, have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. And Yahuwah has laid on him the iniquity of us all. When it comes to doing evil, be infants. When it comes to understanding, be mature. child. Nope. He said his own way. And Yahuwah has laid on him the iniquity of us all. That's why I think he did that. He put on him the iniquity of us all. This is Nazarene actually the Shalakim, how demons get power over men. Therefore, demons, as we have just said, and once they have been able by opportunities afforded to convey themselves through base and evil actions in the bodies of men. That's why. Those evil words of deceit, and uttering vain words in his presence, and speaking things, keep your tongue from speaking evil and uttering deceit. But they get inside of you when you open your mouth and you don't speak to the bar, when you sit in the house, walk by the way, when you lie down, you rise up, and you open your mouth and you say something, and guess what happens? An evil spirit enters. That's why you got to speak good all the time. You got to speak righteous and pure words all the time. If they remain in them a long time through their own negligence, that's what happened. All night weeping, letting the words sink in. They should have cast down those imaginations immediately like Caleb and Yahusha did. Because they do not seek after what is profitable for their inner beings. They weren't seeking at the bar. They weren't seeking prayer and worship. They weren't seeking in prayer. They were seeking fear, error, doubt, and letting Satan fill their minds. And they rose up in the morning. Instead of offering sacrifice and praise to Yahuwah, they offer error and doubt and killing and want to stone people for hearing the truth. Because they would seek after what is profitable for their inner beings, they necessity compel them for the future to fulfill the desires of the demons who dwell in them. But what is worse of all, at the end of the age, when the demons will be co-signed to ageless fire of necessity, the Ruach also that obeyed him will be tortured in ageless fire together with his body that it has polluted. Why do you think he said that from 20 years up? Y'all not getting it. Because the spirits and the demons and Satan polluted their bodies and their thoughts. And now they can't think properly. Right. The second Enoch 48. The sun, so that he might travel through along the seven celestial circles, the circle of the deep. He said, haven't you not heard that Yahuwah formed the earth on the circle of the deep? Who formed the Shama'ims and the Kug on the surface of the waters? He formed the circle of the earth. He said 7 celestial circles, which are appointed with 182 thrones. That's 91, 91. That's spring, early spring and summer. That's early summer and late summer. 182 circles. We're now entering out of that 182 thrones, so that he might descend to the shortest day, and once more 182 thrones, so we might descend to the longest day. So we're moving from the longest day, which was the summer solstice, and now we're going to the shortest day. We're now transitioning over. He also has 2 great thrones, which he pauses when he turns around in this direction and in the other, higher than the lunar thrones, right? Higher than the 354 days. He pauses it. Why? Because it's a time for the transition time. People say, why you add an extra day for the transition time? Because the transition, you're getting ready to go. This is the extra day. This is the extra day. Why? Because you're now transitioning. It's the pause day that you're transitioning over to the next throne, right? That's what we're doing. And in this way, the sun moves along the celestial circles. When he comes close to the earth, then the earth is married. That's exactly what happened during the time when they went to spy the land. The earth is married and makes fruit to grow. Why do you think they had? It's a time of the summer fruit and the grapes. It's a time for the grapes to grow. But when he goes away, that's what we're getting ready to do. The sun get ready to go away. Then the earth laments. And the trees and the fruit have no productivity. And all this is by measurement. Why do you think those people were weeping and crying all night? Why do you think they brought error and doubt? Because they didn't believe. The sun went away. And being that the sun went away, the bar of the word went from their mouth. They had no productivity. And they didn't want to take the land anymore. But Caleb, Yahusha, they still had the sun. And guess what they did? You know, just like a plant, they were standing straight up. They tore their garments and standing straight up. But Caleb, Mashah and them hit the ground. Just like a tree that withers. And the Bible promote precise measurements of hours. He fixed it by his wisdom. Wisdom fall down like water. Give bread to the sower. Give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So shall it be the bar that goes out of my mouth. That everything visible and invisible, from the invisible things and the visible things, he created all visible things, and he himself is invisible. You can't even see him. That's why he said, be afraid to do evil in his sight. Thus, I am making it known to you, my children. The infants, the children you thought were going to come and pray, they're going to see it. And you must hand over the books to your children. They're going to see it. The children. You know how I say children, my children? And then he say your children? We say children. Man, I'm only 8. I ain't 20. I ain't older than that. He say, oh, you grown. Nope. And all throughout your generations and to your relatives and among all Goyim who are discerning, so that they may fear Elohim. You ain't discerning? You got to know these things so that they may accept them. You got to accept it. And will be more enjoyable than any delightful food on earth. Any delight? Is this more delightful than any delightful food? I haven't eaten yet. And they will read them and adhere to them. But those who are undiscerning, how come you don't understand the words that I say? You are not of my sheep. He said, you are your father Satan. He said, you're undiscerning. Why do you think they ain't discern what Yahushua and Caleb was saying to them? They were speaking to the bar and they were undiscerning. He says, and who do not understand Yahuwah, neither fear Elohim. Why do you think they ain't fear? He said, don't fear them not. Fear Yahuwah. Because children of Anak are like grasshoppers in his sight. Nor accept them, but renounce them. They picked up stones to kill him. You renounced it. They forgot about it. Let us return back into Mizraim. They renounced it. And regard themselves burdened by them. Terrible judgment is awaiting them. I'm sending a plague among them. From 20 years old, they're not going to see it. Only Caleb and Yahushua. They're dogs that follow Yahushua. How you say the dogs? The dog, Caleb from the tribe of Yehuda. He would say, Yehuda can't be like no dog. I say, okay. A forcible dog, a mighty. They say, you know what dogs do? The dogs are obedient. You tell them what to do, they do it. And they do it with joy too. They move fast and they do it with joy. That's what they do. He said, fear Elohim, no accept them, but renounce them, and regard themselves burdened by them. Terrible judgment await them. Simcha is the person who puts their yoke on and carries it around, for he will plow. He said, Simcha, mean joy. We were entering into the first day of the 7th month. He said, mourn not, no weep, for the joy of Yahuwah is your strength. Simcha. He said, serve Yahuwah with gladness, coming from his presence with singing. Simcha. Enter his courts with praise. Know that he is Elohim, and it's he that as he made, Yahuwah made us. And we ain't make ourselves. Because if you make yourself, you're going to err and doubt. He made us. You acknowledge him. He made us. He made me. He made us. And not we ourselves. We ain't make ourselves. The gods and the Elohims, you didn't make yourself. Don't even say that out of your mouth. The gods and the goddesses and Elohim, we made ourselves. No, you didn't. There's only one who made you. Yahuwah, through his Debar, Yahushua, his Debar. Yahushua Mashiach. The 13, right? A cod, right? Simcha is the person who puts a yoke on and carries it. He said, no man can come here. He said, you got to carry your cross daily, your totality, your Debar daily, and follow me. Why do you think your Caleb carried the Debar inside of his body and followed him? You got to carry it around. He will plow on the day of the great judgment, but he going to plow that thing. He going to plow on it. Why do you think Yahushua cried out the 9th hour? 360 times 7. It's the 7 celestial circles. 7 of them. What are we entering into? The 7th month. We're into the 7th month. In the 7th month. It was a 2,520 was a 9. What did Yahushua cry out the 9th hour? He was fulfilling all the 182 thrones, the 364-day cycle. It is finished. He said, man, you got to carry your cross daily and follow me. Right? This is Kanuk 82 and 4. Barak are the righteous. Barak are those who walk in the way of righteousness and sin not as the sinners. Why do you think Caleb and Yahushua seen the land? He's like, man, nope. And then little ones. In the reckoning of all their days in which the sun transversed the Shamayim, this is the time of the summer fruit. Now it's moving into when the sun moves away. For some. But for some, the sun gonna get closer. Entering into the departing from the sun transverse to the Shamayim, entering into departing from the portals for 30 days per month, with the heads of the thousands of the orders of the stars, together with the four which are intercalated, which divide the four portions of the year, the four transition times, the four transition days, early summer, early winter. Summer and winter. Early summer, early winter, late winter. Early winter, late winter. Early summer, late summer. To lead them to enter with them 4 days. That's 4 days. 360, right? On the celestial circle. Only to them men shall be at fault, and not reckon them in the whole reckoning of a year. You're gonna disregard it. Why do you think them people during that year did the bar, they disregarded the bar? During that reckoning of that time of the year, and you see they had error and doubt, and they wanted to pick up stones because the bar was being spoken, and they wanted to kill him because they were undiscerning. Yea, men shall be at fault, and not recognize them accurately. What do you think? For they belonging to reckoning of a year, and truly recorded thereon forever. One in the first portal, we just passed that one. The third portal, one in the fourth portal. That's what we're entering in now. And one in the sixth. And the year is completed 364 days. We are now entering the fourth portal. What did you have in the third portal that you need to get rid of before you go into this fourth portal? Error and doubt, fear of others, like you got grasshopper, you grasshopper in Yahuwah. So everybody, all the gods and the goddesses, all of the kings and the rulers and the priests and the teachers and everybody. People, husband, wife, mother, father, sister, brother, man, woman, child, all you are like grasshoppers in Yahuwah's sight. You shouldn't feel like no grasshoppers on nobody on no earth. What you fearing what you fearing men for? Fear the one who can destroy body and soul and cast it into the lake of fire. That's in this world and the next. That's two different realms. Fear that person. It says, and the account thereof is accurate, and recorded reckoning thereof exact. For the luminaries and the months and the festivals and the years and the days has Oriel, the light of Elohim, shown and revealed to me, to whom he, the master of dawn of the whole creation of the world, has subjected the host of the Shabba'i Shama'ims, and he has power over night and day in the Shama'ims, to cause light to be given to cause the light to give the light to men, Shemesh, Kukabim, and the Yard, sun, moon, and stars, and all the powers of the Shama'ims which resolve in the circular chariots. The circular chariots. And these are the orders of the stars, which set in their places and in their seasons, and the festivals and the months. And all the constellations and all the different Kukabim, the Yard, and all the constellations that move throughout the cosmos and the galaxy, all the way to the first Shamayim in the Rakia. These are all the orders of the seasons, festivals, and months that he makes on the earth, in this realm, in this world, where the sun and moon, where the sun touches the skin of human beings. In this world, right? 7 celestial chariots, Arbarakub, Halak, Kanaf, Ruach. Chariots. He makes the clouds his chariot, Arbarakub. How you say it? The 7 celestial chariots, right? So we look at Pesach, that was number 1. Chag Matzah, unleavened bread, number 2. Bakur, first fruit, number 3. Chag Shabur, feast of weeks, number 4. Where we at? The 5th. Yom Teruah, feast of Turah, trumpets. The 5th. So you look at all these days. Look at all these times, but then you look at, right, you look at 3 times he wants you to show yourself, right? he would say, why he wants you to show yourself to me? I want you, because I can see you anyway. No matter where you are, I see exactly where you are. Be afraid to do wrong in his presence. Be afraid to speak evil out of your mouth and other vain words out of your mouth, and speak bold words against the bar. Speak bold words against his righteousness. Speak bold words against things he's already said he's going to do. Don't do it. Right? So we're entering this Feast of Turah. First day of the 7th month. Oli E Shaloma 15, 1 through 10. As the sun is the joy to them who is daybreak, so is Yahuwah my joy. The joy of Yahuwah is your salvation. Mourn not, no weep. For this day is Qahalath unto you, right? So that's what you're going to have to do. So is Yahuwah my joy. You got to dance in a circle. How you say? In a kug. So he put the circle on the face of the deep. Kagog. And move to and fro. Real to and fro. He said, the joy of Yahuwah is your strength, because he is my son. How long will these people despise me? How long will these people despise me and reject me and not believe in me? Yahuwah Elohim. And his rays has restored me. Why do you think he pulled the children among? He said, bring the children to me. For there's the kingdom out. If you don't humble yourself like a child, you ain't going to get in. And he reached out. He touched them. And his rays has restored me. And his light has dismissed all darkness from my face. All darkness of errors. Darkness from my face. Get out of my face. Darkness. Get out of my face. Eyes I have possessed in him and have seen his Qahalath day. Ears I have acquired and have heard his truth. He that hath an ear, let him hear. The thought of knowledge I have required and have lived fully through him. Why he said Caleb had a different type of ruach. Man, he followed me all the way through. Now they say words like finish. Remember when I played sports, they say finish. All the way through the line. He had a different, he followed me wholly. I abandoned the way of error and doubt. Who you mean? If you abandon the way of error, who you abandon? Satan. He artificer of all iniquity. He produced error and doubt in the minds of individuals. He makes sin his sin is his comfort. He likes when you speak evil and rob. He likes when you do these things to people. Why? Because he enters your mind like a smoke and teach you all type of sin. He said, I abandoned Satan. And I went toward him and received salvation from him generously, man. Yahuwah is generous. Yahushua is generous. And according to his generosity, he gave it to me. And according to his majestic beauty, he made me. It is he that has made me, and not we ourselves. It is he that has made me. It is Yahuwah, Yum, they made me. It is he that made, not we ourselves. Come before his presence with singing, into his courts with praise. He that made me. I have put incorruption through his name and stripped off corruption by his kind. Death has been destroyed before my face. Get out of my face. And Sheol has been vanquished by my debar. There's a time to be silenced and there's a time to speak. Some men hold his tongue. Some men hold his tongue and wait for opportunity, knowing his time. He said, vanquished by the bar, and eternal life has arisen in Yahuwah's land. He said, how long will you despise me and reject my land? How long will you despise me and not believe in me? And it has become known to his faithful ones, his children. Caleb had a different ruach and been given without limit to all who trust in him. Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart, with all your lab, your mind, your lamed, your ba'ith, teacher of your body, the expert of your body, your house, your palace, your temple, your body. Lean not to your own binah, understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, the one who made you. the one who gave you life, the one who is your son, Yahuwah, it has been Yahusha, the one who gives you life and truth to speak. When you sit in the house, walk by, where you lie on, you rise up, the one who formed the earth. Have you not heard from the beginning? Have you not heard from the Bereshith? Adam, he made Adam have authority to physically foul every creeping thing, and over all the earth in dominion. He made Adam that way. Is it not written in your Torah, said you are Elohim? And if he called you an Elohim, whom the word of Yahuwah came, you can't change it. I don't care what you say. You are a God. You are royalty. And just like a child is in the palace of his father's house, the child must do what his father, the Malak, and the mother, the Malka, tell him to do. My son, do not forget the teaching of your mother. Do not forget the commandment of your father and the teaching of your mother. You're always going to have somebody over you. For someone to say that nobody rules over them, is for someone to say, how you say, you got a darkness of errors in your thoughts. You got a darkness of errors. For the man, the Adam was made in the image and likeness of Yahuwah, and his rib is smaller than him. She's like grasshopper in his sight. And should be at his feet. It says, and the eternal life has arisen in Yahuwah's land and has become known to his faithful ones, and has been given without limit to those who trust in him. And he said what? Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart. The only reason people don't believe these things because they don't trust in Yahuwah with all their heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. It'll be healing to your shore and refreshment to your bone. Healing to your umbilical cord, your inner child. The actual umbilical cord, the spiral cord that exists, that invisible, because Yahuwah is invisible himself, and he attaches to your mother in the highest Shamayim. And your father will take care of you as a child. To all who trust in him. It can be healing to your refreshment to your bone. How you refresh somebody? There's not wisdom dropped down like water. And be afraid to do Ra in your mother and father's presence, right? In your highest Shamayim. Aleph Yochanan 1:22-24. Let what you heard from the beginning abide in you. Have you not heard from the beginning that Yahuwah put the earth, the circle on the earth, the circle on the water? Have you not seen he made the Shabbat Shamayim? Who will you compare him to? Let what you heard from the beginning abide in you. Let us make Adam in our own image and own likeness. Atzah, Damuth, Salim. And let them have dominion and authority over all the fish of the sea, fowl, every creeping thing, and over the cattle and over all the earth. And Elohim made man in his own image. He made them, male and female. He created them. But then some people think that the moon is brighter than the sun, when she is not. Some people think the rib is bigger than the whole body. A mountain range is not bigger than a mountain. It is not so. How you say? Let Satan come out of your mind and let him relinquish the errors and doubts and allow you to hit the ground and humble yourself under the mighty hand of Yahuwah, and he'll exalt you in your right position. For this is the love of Mashiach. If what you've heard from the beginning abides in you, it has to stay inside of your heart and your mind, inside of you, so you can speak to the bar. You know when to be silent, when to speak. Then you too will abide in the ben and in the Father. You'll be in the life of the house and the strength of the house. And this is the promise that he has made to us, eternal life. Aydahchay. eternal life, beyond the realm of the physical reality, beyond the realm of understanding, a shalom that passes all wisdom and understanding, a peace. The only way you get that peace within, you must study your tendencies. You must study your tendencies and bring your heart from evil and raw to righteousness and love. You must do it. For anyone who seeks to find their demon, their shadim, you must go within. You must go within yourself and search yourself and find the being that has taken up residence in your body because you uttered evil things out of your mouth and deceit. And Satan entered in you like a smoke. For the love of Mashiach came from the highest Shamayim, from the thoughts of his father Abba Yahuwah, from the highest Shamayim, and came to the earth like a waterfall, and ascended to the earth. And he became nothing like the people in the Rakia, nothing like the beings in Sheol in the seven earths, but he came like those on the flesh, on the habitable part of the earth. And he put on flesh, and he took on the same form as us, that we may understand him, that he is the one, his father and mother, father is one, and we ought to love him with all of our heart, all of our soul, and our being. Even if a whole people and a whole community of people reject him. How long will these people despise me and not believe in me and reject me? But you, those who know the bar, hold fast to what you have. For even as Meshach was the meekest man on the earth and didn't see the land, now you are the meekest children who believe in him, who have not rejected him, who don't despise him. And you know you're well able. You are well able. For you hold to Yahuwah's salvation, the seed of continual life. For the meek shall inherit the earth. The meekest in the earth shall inherit the earth.